not connected, which may cut things out for a second. All right, we are live for the 2025 Chicago Marathon Watch-Along Show. I'm your host, Michael Doyle, and I am joined by my colleague and co-host, Katelyn Tocci, and we're going to do a talking marathon for the next 3 hours or so.
Can we talk that much, Michael?
I think we can talk this much. Sadly, we can, yes. So what we're going to do here is we're going to, of course, we cannot show the live broadcast. We do not have the rights to the live. In the United States, you can watch the live broadcast. I believe in the entire United States, you can watch the Chicago.com, catch the live stream. That's what we are following. And of course, there will be a very slight delay between what you're seeing live from us on YouTube, as well as what you're seeing on the screen from the broadcast, because everything is not perfectly synced. I think they're on a slight delay as well. So, but we're in Chinatown in sort of the southern area of the course in Chicago. We'll take a look at the map in a second. We've got some special stuff programmed for you for the watch along show. And what we're going to do is sort of operate as like a second screen viewing experience. We'll provide I think kind of the running nerd perspective of what it's like to be here this weekend and what it's like to watch and be a part of the Chicago Marathon this year. We have spent the last few days, we got here on Thursday morning. We have spent the last few days basically exploring every aspect of race weekend. We are right now about 11 minutes from the start. We've got 7:19 local time right now. The start time is 7:30 for the elite field and wave one. Just a second ago, got a look of elite athlete Roy Linkletter, who is rocking the like a fuchsia pink.
I love that jacket. That is really nice.
The national anthem right up at the front. We'll break down the elite races, the elite fields. We'll talk about I think the most intriguing storylines that we were able to glean from the press conference on Friday. Some inside information that we pulled from the press conference on Friday. We'll share that as well. We'll also nerd out about like what we saw at the expo and what the pop-ups have been like and the 5,000 shakeout runs that were going on in the city this entire weekend.
Including ours.
Including the two little ones that we did. And shout out to those who came out for our shakeout runs and our live recording of our podcast on Friday afternoon as well. That was really cool. And we had a nice little audience for the live podcast. Katelyn got stuck in Costa Rica and was not able to make it for the live show, but she is here now. You'll notice that there is one missing.
Where's our Wonder Boy?
Where's the Wonder Boy? Our co-host Alex Cyr had to fly back to Toronto for a personal matter, but for a wedding. He was part of the wedding party.
It's a personal matter.
He couldn't get out of it. So fair enough. Hopefully a once in a lifetime thing for the people getting married. But he will connect. We're working on a little technical issue here. That's why we started late. We're working on a way to connect him in so that he can hang out with us and talk about what he's seeing in the race and talk about his experience here as well, because he was here Thursday, Friday, and Saturday morning. So the wheelchair race, the elite wheelchair race has started, and we're just under 10 minutes away from the start of the open race, the first wave, the elite field. Katelyn, I've just talked for like the last 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Monologuing. No.
Yes. Setting the table. So
it's perfect.
Yeah. What do you think the number one storyline is? Let's talk like at the front of the race first. What's the number one storyline that we should be watching out for if you're watching along at home right now?
Oh, there are so many. Okay. There's so many. I'm going to just choose one for now. The elite field, I think we have, for the men's race, I think we have one of the most exciting storylines thinking about if Korir is going to be able to, he says he wants to get under 201.
Yeah.
We think that he also, of course, wants to break the world record. And so it's going to be a really big day for him and for us to be watching those splits 5K by 5K to see if he is on course to either go under 201 or under the world record. So I think that's going to be one of the most exciting storylines of today's race, along with the American record. We will be doing the same exact thing.
Yeah, I would say that like the hype around it's the men's American marathon record attempt, which also will be the men's North American record attempt, which will feature Conor Mantz, the Nike athlete, breakout star, finished 4th just outside the podium with a huge breakthrough run in Boston in April. We were there for that, and that was extraordinary. And then also Canadian American Roy Linkletter, who we mentioned just a couple minutes ago, Puma athlete. He's also decided that, from my understanding, he's going to go with, he and Conor are going to race together. I'm not sure who else will join that pack. I think they might have some company with some of the top East African athletes, because the issue that's happening here is that if John Korir and Jacob Kiplimo of Uganda, who's sort of the other big name in the field, if the two of them decide to pace out at 201 pace and try to take set themselves up to potentially negative split and attack the world record, which is 2 hours and 35 seconds, or maybe even go under 2 hours for the first time on a sanctioned course.
Oh wow! Wait,
yeah,
wow,
yeah, maybe.
Hot take.
Yeah, I mean that's it's a reach, but it's in play. If they go in if they split faster than 60 minutes and 30 seconds, that means that they had it in the back of their mind that this is a perfect day for racing. Let's see if we can get close to the 2 hour barrier. Keep an eye out on Jacob Kiplimo of Uganda. He is 24 years old and the world record holder in the half marathon. He has run 2:03. He's only run one marathon. He ran in London. He finished second. He is a tantalizing talent. He is somebody who, you know, if you're power ranking who could break the 2 hour barrier, who could set the world record in the next, 2, 3, 5 years, and who is going to be at the top of the sport, Kiplimo is like the #1 name on your list, along with John Korir. So I think that's like the most exciting thing to watch, closely followed by that, let's call it the North American record attempt on the men's side.
And I did hear a bit of an interview with Rory yesterday.
Yes.
And he did say that he I think he would like to run with Conor Mantz if possible, but it seems like they're going to have their own pacers. So, and they're trying to figure out where to place themselves within the group, because it seems like they asked Rory if they were going to have a chase group, the first group where we're going to see John Korir, we're going to see Jacob Kiplimo, and then if there's going to be a second group between them and Conor. So do we know how many pace groups are planning to go out there?
I mean, those are definitely the two defined pace groups on the men's side. I'd be curious to see if there's something kind of in the middle.
Exactly.
There's this sort of like, this like chasm between this super hot lead group pace of 2:01.00.
Yes.
So 60-30 through half. Incredible math I just did there on the spot.
Amazing.
And 2:04 flat. So 2:04.00 is what Conor Mantz and Rory Linkletter have decided they're going to go out at. That is a spicy pace.
Wow. Yeah. The
area record, so the North American men's record is 2:05.36. If I'm not mistaken. I'm just going off the top of my head here.
I'm impressed.
No notes. This is a no notes live. This is 3 hours, no notes for me. Here we go. 2 hours, 5 minutes, 36 seconds. That's the North American record held by Canadian fellow countryman Cam Levins from 2023 in Tokyo.
Here's the other.
And 2:05.38. So just 2 seconds behind is the long-standing American record set in London in 2002.
That is that record needs to be broken. It is time.
It needs to go as a dusty record.
Yeah, it really is.
That's Khalid Kanuchi. He set that in London in 2002. He's actually here this weekend. He was at the press conference on Friday. And Conor Mantz gave him a shout out and was like, much respect that you've got this incredible record. I believe it was the world record in 2002. So that shows just how much things have changed in the last 23 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they'll be going at that, and they decided 204 flat. So that's one that look.
That's
again,
so aggressive.
my
I
magical
love it.
math.
Yeah.
62 minutes for the first half. That is crazy fast.
Yes.
That is like not screwing around. You'd almost call the lead group of going in 201 flat as like conservative if they're going to attack the world record compared to what Mantz and Linkletter are going to do with the 204. So
yeah, because they're projecting like a minute and a half faster than the American record, which is a whole lot. So
now Mantz ran extraordinarily well in Boston. He ran 2:05:08.
You have a really good memory. I don't know how you're
all
doing
like
it.
jammed in here. One day it's all just going to come pouring out. And we're going to be like, how long is a marathon? What distance marathon did you run on Sunday? So 2:05:08 is his PR. And he looked so strong finishing Boston and was battling it out with the top runners and was right in the mix. A really cool thing that one of the East African runners told me on Friday, Cyprian Katut, who might be in the mix with Mantz.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. Katut is a great runner and has performed at the highest level in World Marathon Majors. And I asked him, like, who are the contenders in this race? And of course, he listed off Korir, he listed off Kiplimo. And then he was like, Connor Mantz. And I was like, Connor Mantz. And he's like, yeah, he's like, in Kenya, we now talk about Connor Mantz. Connor Mantz is now legit. A threat. He's like a threat. Yeah. He's a win a marathon major threat now. Yeah. So that's pretty incredible.
He has such an aggressive, I don't know. I just love his aggressive attitude towards the marathon and his confidence. I feel like, if someone can do it, he can. I do want to mention something though, for those of you who said, wait a second, Michael, 2:05:08 in Boston, but if the record is 2:05:38, why has he not already broken the American record? So information there for those of you who are unfamiliar with it. There are world record sanctioned courses and courses that are not world record sanctioned. So since Boston is a point to point and it does have a certain level of downhill, right, of elevation loss within that course, then it is not a world record sanctioned course. So even though Connor Mantz has beaten that time in maybe perhaps a tougher course, which is why I think Chicago is going to go so well. It does still not count as the American record. So that's why there's that discrepancy of that 30 some odd seconds or the 20 some odd seconds there.
Yeah. So the elite race, the first corrals, wave 1 is just about to get underway.
Oh yes.
Kosuke, do we have the men's start list we could put up on the screen? Just let me know when it's on the screen. We've got some graphics. So the men's start list, just to highlight what we've got, what we've got in front of us here. No notable scratches on the men's side from what I can see from when this list was what was released by the Chicago Marathon, about a month and change ago. And so as you can see, like just in terms of time, in terms of like the top talent, obviously John Korir and is the top dog here. He ran an extraordinary Chicago Marathon last fall. Just to inform you, the race has begun. So we're going to run a clock here. It actually technically started maybe 30 seconds behind schedule, according to my watch. So it might be a little on stagger here, or that's just the delay.
The delay could
possibly.
be right.
Yeah. So we'll give you an update as to how things shake out in the first few hundred meters here. But it's crazy. They have to go out so hard to hit 2:01 pace. It's like
they have no time to warm up.
Yeah.
Looks like a full out sprint here at the beginning.
Yeah. So already, so this is a race that has pacers, we should say. Some of the World Marathon Majors, New York and Boston, do not have pacers. They are what you call championship style races, which just means you got to just go out and pace yourself. And not usually conducive to world records, and those two courses are not world record eligible anyway.
Right.
So
that's another point for Connor Mantz. He did that time with no pacers.
No pacers.
No pacers.
No pacers. And he was telling us that, like, so we chatted with him quite a bit on on Friday, and he mentioned that like when I talked to him briefly, he mentioned that like the pacing was totally erratic in Boston, as it always is. Like the downhill for the first 5K is insane.
Right.
And it's like, and then Rory Linkletter mentioned to me a couple of weeks ago when we did a podcast together, he was like, in the open, and I think it was he said like at one point, like about 10 kilometers in, there was a big surge. And he was like, he's like, my plan was, I told myself, if they're running faster than I think it was like 2:04 pace, it's too hot for me, I'm going to back off. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I looked down and running like 2:02 pace. So he's like, well, I could run on my own, or I could just go with the flow here. So that's the kind of thing you got to deal with when you're dealing with championship style racing, and like gut check moments. Chicago is going to be a lot more controlled on the elite end. You're going to have a group of pacers in the front, blocking what little wind there is today, and setting the pace. And their job, what they are paid for, is to hit the split, and that's it.
Right.
Right. Hit the split, and that's it. We should make a T-shirt that says that.
Ooh,
that's a good one.
That is a good one down. This is the second T-shirt we've spoken about in 2 weeks.
That's right.
Remember the running sickos?
I'm gonna get I am a running sicko shirt made, and
I need one of those.
When we launch a merch tab on our site, you can buy the I am a running sicko shirt. I promise you that it will happen. Okay, so we're starting to get a good glimpse here of getting a shot of the women's race. Mm-hmm. Big challenge in major marathons broadcasts in the past has been equity in the coverage, getting an equal sort of understanding of what's happening in the women's race and the men's race. For whatever reason, the women's race is always seemingly sort of an afterthought. So we're going to make sure that we give you as many updates as possible as to what is happening on the women's side, especially if we feel like the broadcast is not showing it. And then ironically, it cuts to the men's lead group, but that's okay. We're early on in the stage here.
There they are.
Okay. So guy in the middle, we're watching here, if you're watching along at home, guy in the middle there, that's John Korir. He's tucked in there. Mm-hmm. Looks like he's wearing the same kit he wore, or something very similar to what he wore in Boston.
Oh.
Yeah. And you'll notice, if you're watching along at home as well, you'll notice this like white singlet that's kind of multicolored on the bottom half. It's a Nike singlet. That is the official Chicago Marathon singlet. Shout out to Nike.
Yes.
We got a little care package from Nike when we showed up. Mm-hmm. And and we got the singlets. And what's in the early stages here as we go through? That was, I believe, mile 1 we just passed through there in 4:26, I think. Yeah, okay. That's quick.
Yeah, that's a nice looking singlet.
Yeah, you're going to see that is for the most part going to be your pacers along with Nike athletes. So it's a little confusing.
It is.
So Connor Mantz is also rocking this exact singlet and the kind of American, it looks like almost like the American team blue shorts, but it's a blue short it's the Chicago color short that they've got here this weekend. But yeah, that singlet, I actually quite like the singlet. I think it's a pretty sharp looking singlet.
I love all the colors. Yeah. It's really nice. It is just kind of, everyone's kind of blending in there. It's going to be a little tricky.
Yeah.
Distinguishing in the pacers, but there we go. We'll get the hang of it soon. Oh, and we've just got one person in a red shirt. Yeah. That person's going to be easy to follow. Let's see.
So it looks like Mr. Mantz has got some company off the jump here. Yep. This looks like there's a group, Bashir Abdi of Belgium, who finished, I believe he got a silver medal in the Paris Olympics last year. He's in this group, so he's decided, you know what, 2:01 pace is suicide pace for me. I'm going to just run this pedestrian 2:04 flat pace. God, that's so fast.
He has a 2:03.36 as a
Yeah, so this should be within range for him. Mm-hmm. Jeffrey Korir, who is, if you're watching, tucked in behind Cyprian Katut, who I mentioned earlier, who's an Adidas athlete. Korir also wearing that Nike singlet. He won the New York City Marathon in 2017. Again, no notes. I'm just going off the top of my head here.
He's a 2-time New York Marathon
champion. He's a 2-time New York Marathon
and the former half marathon world record holder.
So I chatted with with Jeffrey on Friday.
Oh, please do tell.
I love that guy. Yeah. I think he's an amazing racer. He's such a gritty runner, good cross-country runner as well. Not surprising that the guy has been so dominant in New York over the years. I asked him flat out. I was like, "Are you going to go with the lead group in 201 pace?" And he didn't say no, but I could tell by the look in his eye. Mm-hmm. He was just kind of like, "That's too fast, too much for me." So we're seeing here that he is making, I think, probably a wise decision in pacing out that 204 pace and seeing what happens, seeing if he feels good in the second half. All right, we're getting a shot of the women's race here. So update on the women's race here is it looks like our Howie Fesa and Magertu Alemu of both of Ethiopia are running side by side right now with their pacer in this sweet kit in front of him. Okay. If you're watching at home, you know exactly what we're talking about. If you're just watching us and listening to us, this dude who's pacing is wearing like an 80s style Adidas singlet over top of a black t-shirt, Adidas black t-shirt. It's red with the three stripes, and he's got matching shorts, and he's wearing a headband.
The headband, like that classic 80s sweatband.
He looks like my dad. If my dad could run like 217 pace.
I think I need one of those. I have, sweating profusely while running. Maybe it'll just like stop the drips from coming down.
The headband it's a pro move. You don't see it that often anymore. It's a look, right? It's a style.
You have to be able to rock that style.
That's right. So interestingly enough, on the women's side here at the front, it appears they only have one pacer taking them out. We'll make sure we get some splits so we get a good sense of what it is that they are pacing out at. My guess would be they're probably running in the 2:15-16 range because these two athletes at the front are both right around 2:17 for their personal best. So
you're like an encyclopedia, Michael.
2:16 high, 2:17 flat.
They have very similar PRs. Alemu has a 2:16.34 and Fesa has a 2:17 flat. So they're extremely similar in fitness level.
Who did you pick before? Who's your pick for the win?
I picked Alemu.
That's right. I think I picked Alemu as well.
Yeah. I think Alex may have gone off course, or he picked her as well.
He picked her as well. Okay. So we're all like Team Alemu here.
Okay.
Both of these runners are interesting. They both are not. They're not names. They're not big. They're not. Sifan Hassan is not with us in Chicago this weekend. She's doing New York, and she already ran Sydney. Which is a shame for Chicago, and it's kind of weird that New York didn't bring her, or that Nike didn't bring her in. But these two athletes here are both obviously extremely talented. They're running 2:16, 2:17s, and neither of them has a signature victory at a World Marathon Major yet. They have both podiumed.
Yes.
And one sort of like I don't want to call it a tier 2 race, but like Valencia is an incredible, high quality, super fast race, but it just doesn't have the luster, the sheen that a major has. The majors. Right? So one of these two probably will end up rewriting their own destiny, if you will.
Because it's like they both have these incredible running resumes.
Yeah.
They've got second, third places, like Alemu has a second place in London, a third place in London, a third place in Chicago in 2023. It's like they're right there on the podium. So this is going to be the big day to take first for one of them for sure.
Okay, so you want to do me a favor? I guess this is like a super casual. It's a watch along, so we get to just kind of hang out and chat. You want to bring up the splits? Do we have the splits from the race?
We have
the live splits for the race here.
Okay,
yeah.
Find that.
Google Chicago Marathon and bring it up. Something we should have. And Koske, could you go into my bag and get me? We've got. You're seeing how the sausage is made here. And the laptop thing on the back part, the laptop sleeve. No. Front there, yeah.
I like this split screen. Yeah, okay. What we are seeing is, I think this is going to be one of the solutions for not seeing much of women's races sometimes during marathons, because right now we've got this great split screen. So we can see all 4 races at the same time. Men's pro, men's pro wheelchair, women's pro wheelchair, all at the same time.
Really something races should do a heck of a lot more of. And for whatever reason, don't. Maybe it just costs a little bit more money and requires a bit more producing. I don't know. But like, it's not the most revolutionary thing on the face of the earth to do a split or a quad screen, which is what we've got right now. We're showing men's pro race, women's pro race, and then both wheelchair races as well. What I got our video producer Koske to grab for me is like really just one of the most lovely things that I think marathon majors should like post on their Instagram and make it widely available, but they don't, which is the uniform, the kit, like what each kit looks like and what the bib looks like, what the name is on the bib.
That's nice.
It's like, I should, next marathon major, next watch along, I will scan this and we will put it on screen because it's
that is really nice.
Have access to it. So we will get a 5K split soon enough. It will come in.
Comes in here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. Got it. Ready.
And for now, why don't we put up the women's elite field card here so we can see what we've got, what we're looking at in terms of the elite field on the women's side here. Yeah, so as you can see, Fesa and Alemu are both our top contenders in the race. Irene Cheptai, who you'll see as the 3rd runner on the list, she scratched. So
yes,
we found
I
out about
noticed
this on
that.
Friday.
Yeah.
And we only found out about it at the press conference that she scratched on Friday. So she is out. It's I believe she finished 2nd last year. So she was definitely going to be sort of like the power trio,
right,
to round this out, to perhaps push the pace even faster. But she had to scratch, so she's out. Down the list here, I would watch out for Bendatu Hirpa of Ethiopia. She's got a 2:18.27. She won Dubai this year, early this year.
Yep.
I believe it's in January.
Yes.
And then she followed that up by winning the Paris Marathon. Again, Paris is like Valencia, Rotterdam, Amsterdam. High quality, fast races that produce great performances, but because they're not majors, maybe not quite as like wowing.
As popular, you don't hear about it as much.
But a big win nonetheless, and Paris is a pretty fair course. There's a little bit of up and down in Paris as well. So she's definitely somebody to keep an eye out on as well, especially if the 2 at the front falter at all. Let's talk briefly about the women's the American women for a second here before we flip back to Mr. Mantz, who is just passing through, I believe, around the 5K.
Hopefully get those splits
Mantz just
soon.
grabbed his first, I believe it's the 5K bottle he just went through, the 5K fueling station.
We've got the splits.
We have the splits. So we've got the splits through 5K.
Connor Mantz is right there with all of them. Just that first.
That is...
Wow.
That is confusing and overwhelming. Are we sure that that's the correct splits? I guess
here's the pro runners men, and then
I know, but where is search top 20?
All right,
because where is John Korir in that list?
Yeah, what happened there? Maybe something didn't. Yeah, he's not there. That is confusing. What's going on there?
That is very confusing. Okay, well, we'll keep watching here and we'll give you an update here. It doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense, but the opening 5K split is kind of all over the place, and it seems to have the second pack of guys as the front guys. So anyway,
I wonder if they just didn't register. Something happened with the bibs.
This in a second. It's confusing to us as well. So the women's race they're showing right now looks pretty predictable here. I think we have it's a group of 3.
Yep.
So it's Fesa and Alemu at sort of side by side at the front, and then I think it's here.
Oh, she's Surging.
She's going in for the bottle, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Surging for the bottle.
So we actually saw Alemu, Magertu Alemu. We saw her on the Friday shakeout run, just cruising along.
Oh, yeah.
One of the really cool things about coming to a World Marathon Major is you go out for as a, just average runner, you go out for your run and you encounter
Elites.
the elite
The best
runners,
of the best.
just out there on their own running, just there.
How cool.
It'd be like if you went to like a football field to play catch with your friend, and Tom Brady's there, just like throwing frozen ropes, right? Like, say, oh, hey, can you throw me one? Yeah. So we've got Fesa. I'm just looking at the
leaderboard there. Yeah.
Sharui is also in that group, along with, and they've got Alemu falling back a little bit. The splits are kind of a little all over the place right now. We'll clean it up in a second here when we get a full understanding of what's going on. Yeah, so we saw, who didn't we see running around?
Are you just trying to make me jealous because I got in late? It's fine.
Sorry.
It's fine. Like, guys, look at all these photos we took.
Well, really hilariously, what happened was Friday morning shakeout run. We got together with the group and we met at a water fountain in Grant Park, close to the sort of start finish area. And like literally 1 second after we left, somebody who's going to join us, one of the podcast listener who's going to join us, was late. He showed up late and he said he got there and we clearly just left. And who was standing there? The only other person standing there was John Korir. He was standing there getting ready to go for his run.
With us.
Well,
John Korir missed our shakeout run.
If we would have hung around for like probably 60 more seconds, John Korir would have showed up.
Can you imagine?
And this guy was like, he was telling us, he was like, this guy, shout out to Douglas, who listens to the podcast. He was like, yeah, John Korir was just there. And I, for a half second, was like, is he here for the shakeout run?
Could you imagine?
He's here for his own shakeout run, but yeah.
He listens to the podcast, maybe. We're big fans of him, so.
Yeah. So, to clarify the situation a little bit here.
Yep.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4 pacers four pacers I can identify at the men's lead group.
But see, Korir is not there.
And the list, but that is John Korir there. Is he going? Is he going by?
Got it.
Mbenyo, I guess he's going by. No, that's weird. No, hold on. Let me look this up. That doesn't make any sense. Oh boy, this is confusing. Okay, so we'll clean that up in a second here. But for now, there is a lead group with about 4 pacers. Mm-hmm. They're going at about 2:01 pace, and then there is a chase group, which is significantly larger. I'm counting about 10 heads right now, which includes Connor Mantz. It looks very comfortable. I have not seen Roy Linkletter in that group as well, but the shot was pretty tight. So we will work on this to clarify what's going on. Yeah, Daniel Mbeyo is Daniel Mbeyo. I don't know why he's a Nike athlete. I don't know why they're not showing Korir up there. I'm fairly confident.
Daniel. Yeah,
I'm like, why would they swap names there? But anyway, we'll get that clarified in a second. So
because they don't even have the list clearly said the leader was yes.
Yeah.
Something's off.
He is in there. He's a Nike athlete. He's rocking one of those he's rocking one of the singlets, the Chicago branded singlets. So
That's what. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex.
Good. It's too fast.
Is it?
It's too fast. The top 3 are not showing up on the leaderboard list for the Chicago
We knew
Marathon.
something was going on. This is not okay.
They didn't have the timing mats set up yet. Yeah. So like my eyes are not deceiving me. I was like, that is John Korir.
Yes.
I know it is.
Yes.
It's like, that is the man, you know?
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, so if you're looking at the leaderboard at home and you're refreshing and you're like, Daniel Mbayo is currently leading. John Korir, like, where is he? Did he drop out? No. There is a lead group of, I think it's 3 athletes with 4 pacers, which is just a lovely setup for these guys. And it's just a mess right now. And we will identify who they are. To me, it looked like, just eyeballing it, it looked like John Korir, Timothy Kiplagat, and Jacob Kiplimo at the front.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting a lot more footage of the
chase group,
the 204 flat group. And that has some great runners in there, including Connor Mantz. He's right in there. Looks great. It's early stages, of course. He should look comfortable. He does look comfortable.
Yes, he does.
As well as Cyprian Katut of Kenya, as well as Jeffrey Kamworor of Kenya. Who else is in that list? Bashir Abdi of Belgium, the Olympic medalist from last year, and others as well. I would presume Roy Linkletter as well, but I didn't eyeball him in the last shot there, so I can't confirm that just yet. Zuhar Talbi of is he from Morocco? I thought he was from. I thought he was Tunisian. I guess he's from Morocco. Sorry.
Yes, Morocco.
He's Moroccan.
Mm-hmm.
He's been living in the United States for quite a while, if I'm not mistaken, and he had a big breakout in Houston last year.
2:06:39.
Yeah, so
that
he's
was
right
memorized.
in there. Yeah, you're just like, wow, deep. You got a deep
I did
bench
a
in the
deep
mind.
dive.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's looking to do something special today as well. So I'm going to keep an eye on it as well. So, do we want to key in on? Let's talk about John Korir for a second. Let's bring up the athlete card for John Korir, because this dude's special.
Yeah.
He's had a heck of a last 12 months. He ran and won Chicago last year, commandingly so. And then he followed that up with a pretty extraordinary win in Boston, where he dropped the field at 20 miles like clockwork. And I spoke with him on Friday and asked him a slew of questions. Fun facts. He had no idea what shoe he was going to wear 2 days before the race.
Oh my goodness. What is rule number 1?
Yes.
What is rule
Nothing
number
new
1?
on race day.
Nothing new on race day.
Well, I think that was the issue. He's I'm sure worn this shoe and probably been a prototype tester for it.
Right.
But he was debating. He said, I've got the Metaspeed Ray. He's an ASICS athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got the Metaspeed Ray and I've got the Metaspeed Sky in my hotel room.
Okay.
I have not chosen which one I'm going to run in. He said he loved the Metaspeed Sky. He wore it for Boston and a kind of, I guess, a prototype version of it in Chicago last year. And obviously had a great deal of success and he loved it. Also said, I don't wear the Metaspeed Edge. I don't know what that means, but he's just not, they seem so similar.
We can ask Alex what he thinks.
That's
why.
right.
I have another couple fun facts about John Korir.
Yeah.
Okay. So Wesley Korir, his brother, won Boston in 2012.
That's right.
And they are the first brothers to have won Boston. Also, another fun fact is that he trained with the famous late Kelvin Kiptum.
Yeah. And as did Timothy Kiplagat, who was in that league group.
Mm-hmm. And
Kiplagat got super emotional at the press conference.
Yes, I saw. Yes.
Yeah. And he actually said to Jay Holder, who was running the press conference, who works for USATF, he actually said, I don't want to talk about it anymore. He's like, no more questions about Kelvin Kiptum, right?
Yeah.
So like, that's how much he's been affected by this. And basically said that he's like, he's running this race and probably pretty much every race since the death of Kelvin Kiptum with that guy in his mind and in his heart, right? So,
of course.
And I believe in honor of that, he's in this league group running 2:01 pace and seeing if they can break Kelvin Kiptum's 2 hours and 35-second world record. All right. So we've got a pretty good shot of, I believe this is
The splits have updated.
The splits have updated. Let's talk about
just like we thought. So holy moly,
crapola.
Look at the
so no wonder
finish.
they didn't.
Okay.
So no wonder they didn't post the first 5K splits.
They did not have the mat set up yet, as you said.
They were like these guys were running so fast that they didn't have it all. They probably didn't believe it was accurate.
What the predicted finish for this first split of 13:58 for the first. For the first 5K, 13:58 for the first 5K. The predicted finish for that is 1:57:45. Is that right?
I mean, that's what your eyes are not deceiving you, Katelyn.
Am I reading that correctly?
So that I'm guessing here. We'll do some research after. Maybe we'll put something on the site about these splits afterwards, but I think that split might be the fastest opening 5K split in marathon history. It's got to be really close if it isn't. I can't think of off the top of my head too many 1:57 opening 5Ks.
Well, let me put it into a little bit of perspective. If they wanted to run a 2:01 marathon, they would do the first 5K in 14:20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're way ahead of schedule. Let's say just by about 22 seconds.
Yeah, and then Connor Mantz and company. That's why everyone's so puzzled about this, and that's why the Chicago Marathon leaderboard was so screwed up. Is the Mantz? We'll call it the Mantz group.
Okay.
The Chase group split the opening 5 in 2:01:22.
Oh my goodness,
projected pace. So that that was a 14:23. So
that's on track for the 2:01 that we were talking about for the first group.
That is so dangerous.
So aggressive.
So dangerous. To take a bite that big out in the first 5K. I'm really curious to see what the 10K split is and if they settle it down and if they maybe even decide to give back a little bit and run it in the, I don't know, for Korir, maybe pacing the second 5K in more like 2:01 or 2:02 pace.
You think they'll pull back right away
in the second 5K?
I would hope so too. I think they just got very excited. We also have the women's split here. Yeah. So we have the lead group in 16:06 for the first 5K. That's a projected finish of 2:15:45 starting out for that first 5K here.
And we should say someone worth noting here that's kind of popped up in this lead group here is Magdalena Shauri of Tanzania. She is an ASICS athlete. ASICS showing out really nicely at the front of the pack in the last couple of years. As we mentioned before, John Korir is an ASICS athlete. ASICS is a company that has really kind of figured out the elite product game. Like they've really figured out how to make a world-beating super shoe and have aligned with some athletes that are showing out like just how powerful and fast their shoes are. So I think if you want to think about companies that are doing things in a really smart way right now, ASICS has really sorted something out in terms of how they present their shoes, their product as being truly world-class and matching it with interesting athletes too. So there you go. There's my ASICS advertisement.
There you go.
This is not sponsored by ASICS in any way, but they're making great shoes and they've got great runners right now. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
Okay, so we've got I have some information here on Shauri, if you'd like.
Sure.
Why not? So she participated in the Paris Olympic Games, ran a time of 2:31:58. She holds the Tanzanian record for the marathon with a time of 2:18:41. Yeah. So she's right up there as well, nice and fast. She set that record in Berlin in 2023, where she finished third place.
Tanzania is having a good year, so far at least with the marathon. Felix Simbu won the World Championship marathon in Tokyo. Our video producer Kosuke was in Tokyo for the World Championships, and we've got a Tanzanian connection. Alex's fiance Alexis, Tanzanian, So that whole family was super psyched when Simbu crossed the finish line first, and really one of the most exciting finishes ever in a marathon, like a sprint lead.
That sprint was incredible to watch.
That was crazy. If you've not seen that,
Look it up.
Find it on YouTube and watch the finish of the World Championship marathon, men's marathon from earlier this summer. From the summer, it's bonkers. So let's while this sort of like the dust from that opening 5K is still settling, we're getting close to the 10K split here already. They're moving very quickly. This is going to be like the fastest marathon pro race ever here. I mean, quite potentially, quite literally.
I think we've got it.
Yeah. So
here we go.
We got the 10.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, so Tim Kiplimo technically in this group was the first to cross the mat, and they're hitting at 28:25, which not long ago was a world-class 10K time on even on the track. So that's one. They're now settled down.
Right. Yep. You were right. You called it, Michael.
To 1:59:54 is the overall pace through 10K.
Sub 2 hours.
Sub 2 hours. We'll see how this goes. My guess, my prediction here is that they'll run around this pace until the halfway mark. So they'll be ahead of schedule in terms of that 2:01 pace. They'll probably split
bank time.
Banking time is not a great idea, and I think elite athletes are more aware of that than I am. So I think that sub 2 might be in the cards. Might be.
I sure hope so.
Or a really brutal last 10 kilometers where it's just like a war of attrition with these athletes, one or the other. But okay. So John Korir, chatting with him on Friday, and I asked him because I was like, one of the coolest nerdy stats in marathoning with this guy is that he and the late Kelvin Kiptum are the only two humans in history to run a sub 60-minute second half in a marathon, which he did last fall in Chicago. He ran 59:40 something. Only guy besides Kiptum when he ran the world record to split under 60 minutes in the second half and to run down a negative split like that. And I asked him if he knew that, and he like got a big smile on his face, and he was like, "Yes, I did know that."
Of course he knows that.
And he kind of indicated after that, he was like, that might be the plan on Sunday as well, because it worked out last year pretty well for him, right? So I don't know if there's anything in the tank to negative split what they've just done in the first 10K.
I don't know.
If they do, we're in a different universe of running. So
the sun looks like it has just popped out a bit. Yeah. It looks a little overcast earlier, didn't it? Or is it because they were in between the buildings?
It was
a little more.
A little overcast. Yeah. I mean, like, listen, it's a 7:30 a.m. local start.
Yep.
So the sun is still pretty low at the beginning of the race.
Right.
Weather-wise, pretty much a perfect day.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. And let's see that weather right now.
Alex, our colleague, who we're still working on patching in for the chat here. Alex, when we were talking in the live podcast on Friday afternoon, Alex said the theme of this year's Chicago Marathon from his perspective as of Friday afternoon was opportunity. Because everything seemed like it was aligning, at least, I mean, actually for everyone in the race. Like mid-pack runner, if you're trying to run a personal best, today is a day of opportunity because the weather is very good. It's about currently about
55 degrees, 13 Celsius roughly now.
So like,
that's nice.
That's nice.
It's not ideal.
It's not perfect.
It's a little warm. But it's not Berlin.
But it's not Berlin.
Right.
So Berlin this year was a hot mess.
Yes.
It went up into the 80s.
80s, yeah. It was out of control.
You can't run fast in the 80s unless you're the guy who won the race. He was the only one who was able to run fast.
And he still looked like he was suffering because of the heat.
He still didn't look like he was having a great time.
In the second half, he didn't look like he was having fun.
I'll just note here for a second here, I am fairly certain that John Korir is just running at the front right now. Oh no, that's Tim Kiplimo in the sorry, there was where they were going through a shady portion of the course, and I was like, is that Korir at the front? But I don't see, there was I think one pacer off to the side, not in the front. This is the problem when you're running sub 2 hour pace. It's really hard to find anyone who can even run for 10K at that pace.
Do you think that they just burnt out some of the pacers because the pacers went too fast? Yeah.
Yes. So
oh my goodness.
the guy on this screen left to the right of Timothy Kiplagat, who is currently leading this race, is a pacer. And he's struggling to hold the line.
Yep.
So this is going to very quickly turn into a championship style race.
Right, exactly. They're going to be on their own pretty soon.
Yeah.
At least the lead group will be.
So women's side.
Women's side. Yep. Here we go.
We've got, the leaders are splitting 10K through in 32:08. We have 2 runners. We've got Fesa of Ethiopia and Shauri of Tanzania at the front with a single pacer. And then there is a chase group of 2 athletes, including Alemu and Taye, both of Ethiopia, that are
7 seconds behind.
6
seconds behind. Yeah, they're close.
Behind. You can see them actually in the rear view. It's always tricky when you're watching a marathon on like a broadcast, because the cameras are using these like zoom lenses to get a nice shot from the motorbike of the athletes, and it compresses the field of view. So when you see someone behind, it looks closer. The objects are closer than the mirror when they appear, sort of scenario. So it is actually a little bit of an optical illusion of they're actually not that close.
I can relate so much to what Fesa just had to do. She had to like redo the bun while she's running. No, seriously, that happens to me all the time. And it's really exhausting and a waste of energy to have to be like, fixing up your hair while you're running. I feel you, Fesa. I know when that happens to me all the time.
I mean, there's a lot of wiggle room in a marathon, but you definitely don't want to fall off pace. I mean, she handled it like a total pro.
She did. You couldn't even tell that she was fixing it. Are we looking though, Michael? I know you said that there was only one pacer. There's just one pacer for the women in general, or there are separate groups?
We have not gotten we haven't gotten a vantage point of what's going on in the second group,
right?
And we've not yet seen the American women like full stop. We've got
not once.
No update on them. We'll scroll back and let's pull up some of those.
Actually, I have some. Okay, I have the 10K splits for the top 3 American women.
Yeah.
So we've got Dakota Popin, and she came across in 33:11. She's on pace for just under a 2:20 marathon.
That's a few minutes faster than a personal best, and that puts you in the ballpark of not quite the American record, but there has only been. Just trying to do off the top of my head. I think off the top of my head, I think only Emily Sissons runs sub 2:20 of women. I'm trying to remember if Anyway, very. I mean, sub 2:20 is super elite, right? Especially the American field, like 2:18:29 is Sisson's American record, which she set in Chicago in 2022. She's running New York this year.
Oh, okay. That's why she's not here.
Yeah, she's never run New York before. She's a New Balance athlete. New York is a New Balance event.
Okay,
really good fit for her. So the field is fairly wide open for top American women, although I would say Natasha Rogers, Dakota Popin are definitely big favorites there, as well as we talked to Emily Venters.
It's her debut.
She's debuting.
She's very excited. Yeah. Doesn't know what to expect.
Do you want to put the card up of Emily Venters? Okay, yeah. So so Emily Venters is sort of just post-collegiate, we could say.
And she's an I-Stone athlete, right? Or
she's based in Utah. Yep. She's with that big group.
Yep.
She's a Nike athlete. Nike signed her to a pro contract. They clearly really believe in her because she was on the stage at the press conference, and that's
yes, she was.
That's like a premium treatment of an athlete when you go on the stage as one of the key athletes that's selected to go up on the stage and chat.
I feel like that's a big deal because there were only 6 or so.
Yes.
So it's a very elite ask kind of to be up there on that
Totally.
stage.
And so I think there's and she said she's really fit. She's feeling it. Although she did say, and this kudos to her, she was showing a lot of respect for the distance because she's like, I've never run a marathon before. The training's gone really well. I'm soaking up and absorbing all this deep knowledge of this training group that I'm in Utah. I feel like I'm in the perfect environment. there's something special happening in Utah with distance running in the United States. But she's like, my goal is to run well, to run evenly and intelligently. And she was sort of saying, like, I think around 224 was kind of the ballpark of where she felt like her fitness was pointing. But by no means was she thinking that like she's going to go out and like just crush the marathon. It was going to be easy. That's for sure. So
she was extremely humble when she was talking about it. And she did mention that her coach told her, you know, you'd much rather start out a little more conservatively, which is so hard for our athletes to do. And then you just want to you'd rather be picking off the runners as you're going through the second half. And she said that was her plan, that if she can, that's what she'll do. But no matter how excited she is, she's going to run conservatively, at least in the first half.
Do we have the card for Dakota Popane, Koske?
She, you know, it was interesting listening to her. I was listening to one of her interviews because she has a 224.40.
Yeah.
And she said that she wants to get under 220 in the marathon today. That is 4 minutes and 40 seconds below what she has run before. And she said that she wants to have that half split in, you can do it. No, 70 minutes. Come on the map.
It's like my brain just went blank for a second.
Like, wait a second.
It's all gone. It's all out of my head now.
But she seems very confident, but that would be a massive PR.
It's a big jump.
It's a big jump.
She did say, she said she ran Paris last year, Boston. She felt like running all these hilly courses and doing all the work, the specified work for that, built a lot of strength. And she said she noticed this summer as she started doing, you know, hard lactate threshold type work, and that speed was coming, and VO2 max stuff, that speed was coming really easily for her, for the like really breakthrough speed that she'd never seen before from herself.
Wow. Yeah.
And she was like, you could tell she was like buzzing. She was excited just to get on the start line because she, I think, feels like she's got something special in the legs for today. And so far, so good, because she's splitting at a sub 220 pace so far, at least through the first chunk of the race.
And she came in 12th in the Olympics. I mean, she's a star.
Yeah. So a little update here. If you're watching along, you're seeing what's happening. If you're just watching us, we'll give you an update of what's happening at the front of the race, which is men's lead group is, it's still a group of 1, 2, 3, 4 heads and a 4 guys, 5 guys. Is it 5 or are we 6? 5 to 6 guys, and I believe a pacer. And that includes Timothy Kiplimo, who was second place in Tokyo last year. He's a 202 guy, as well as John Korir, who won the Chicago Marathon last year. And so we are seeing potentially world record type performances from these guys right now.
I'm ready to give you the 15K splits. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So yes, we have Kiplimo, Kipruto, Korir, Kiplimo, and Kiplagat up. They're the top 5, and they crossed the 15K in 42:41. So they've slowed down just a smidge more because you called it. Yeah. Because their projected time now is 2 hours, 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So they're still
backed
there,
it right off.
But they're back to, yeah.
You know what's interesting about this is like Chicago does I've just kind of been racking my head here thinking about the first 5K of the Chicago Marathon. Okay, so I've run Chicago 5 times, and the Chicago Marathon's opening 5K is fast, but it doesn't have like a dramatic downhill. Like, for example, London and Tokyo, and of course Boston, have these very dramatic opening 5Ks that are actually like net downhill and quite quick. And you often see kind of crazy 5K splits from those races because of that. Chicago does have an underpass that you go under in the first like mile or so, but there's no dramatic downhill. So they just went out really hot.
That means that they were just pushing and going out at a faster pace.
And there's no significant tailwind happening here. The wind is about 5 or 6 miles, and that's insignificant, right? So so you still got Korir, Kiplimo. So Jacob Kiplimo still in there. You've got Philemon Kiplimo as well. Amos Kipruto and Timothy Kiplagat as your lead 5. Yeah. And if you're watching along, you'll notice there's another dude who's not quite in the front, but on the shoulder right to Tim Kiplimo in the white singlet. The guy in the kind of it's a Puma kit.
It's purple.
Fuchsia. Fuchsia? Would you go fuchsia?
I don't know. It looks pretty purple.
Morning magenta.
Violet.
Electric violet.
Yes, yeah. That's it. Violet.
I like shoe companies always go a weird spin on the color. It's like electric
dusty
violet.
blue.
Yeah, dusty blue. Exactly. Your grandmother's periwinkle. So that guy was a pacer, and kind of doing a weird job pacing because he's not at the front. He's to the side.
He's like running with them.
Yeah. Must be an interesting conversations they're having there. It's like, can you go to the front? He's like,
I can't.
This is as fast as I
just
can go.
can't. This is my
You guys
top
are running
speed.
2-hour flat pace right now.
I'm interested. It's interesting that Alemo is saying that 6 seconds behind the two top gals. I wonder if she's just being conservative or if she's not able to hold on right now. We'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, we're not getting a secondary shot
No.
of really any of the women's races.
No.
So we can update you with that if you're just watching us and listening to us. There's not really, like, from the broadcast, we're not getting any footage of the women's the women's chase group or the top American women. Hopefully they'll remedy that. We had a really cool thing happen at the press conference on Friday. It's like a really kind of a flattering and neat experience where the two leads of the broadcast team from NBC, shout out to Marion, who's like, if you're watching the broadcast and listening to that or have listened to that, she's like the anchor of the broadcast. She and her teammate Alex, who both work at NBC, came over to Alex Cyr and I at the end of the press conference, and we're like, we want to thank you because we've been listening to your podcast and consuming your content on Marathon Handbook to prep for the race so that we had a deep knowledge of what was happening.
That is so flattering.
And then they start picking our brain about, like,
I love it.
What the storylines are, what to watch out for, who maybe that the producers should be sending, the camera crews back for, and that sort of thing, deeper in the race, and things to kind of keep an eye out on as the race develops. So that was like pretty cool. And that we did say, make sure to follow obviously that men's North American record story, that's really interesting. And then also, show the American women, show the chase group and the women's side, make sure you give equal depth to that. So, my hands are clean in this respect.
And that's really nice. But we have had a lot of feedback, a lot of recent feedback that we are really one of the few outlets who go into those deep dives before the marathon. And it's so nice to hear that people are appreciating the work because we love it. We love to nerd out. This is what we do.
And in all aspects of the race. I mean, okay, so like while we're kind of like floating around in between 15 and 20K on the men's side and coming up to the 15K split on the women's side. Did we get it yet?
We got it.
Oh, we just got it. We'll do that and then we'll talk a little bit about the weekend.
Okay, so it looks like they're speeding up, right?
Yeah.
Because now the predicted finish for the top two girls are top two women 2:15.
Yeah.
2:15
flat.
15 flat, which is nice and fast. So they just came through the 15K mark at 48 minutes flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're also getting a shot at the Mantz group, the North American record chase group, which also features like some of the top East African runners in the world too. Yep. It just speaks to how compressed the excellence is in Chicago here. And it's a group of about, I'd say 7 or 8 guys. They've got one pacer at the front doing a nice job. And then you've got Connor Mantz right in there. Mm-hmm. He looks pretty good, pretty comfortable. He's wearing the sunglasses. It's a sunny day. Lots of guys with sunglasses on today. He's got that classic kind of like the Mantzian stride, we'll call it, the slashing stride that he's got. Yeah. Just looks like he's running a cross country race every time he runs, which is so cool. He's right next to Talbi of Morocco, who looks really comfortable.
Yeah, he really does. He looks like he's just going out for a Sunday run.
Dude looks like an apparel model. Yeah, he's he's modeling the Asics kit. He's an Asics athlete.
The sunglasses, like the look. He's got the whole look.
But he looks pretty good.
Yeah, he's looking really good.
And then Jeffrey Carmora is in there as well, the 2-time New York City Marathon champion. along with a pretty healthy crew behind them. I think they've actually got 2 pacers now.
They have 2 pacers because that's where the pacers can hold the pace.
Right. That's right. So 204 is
the 204 is
not impossible, at least through the first half of this race. Okay.
And when Connor Mantz came in that 15K split, he's at 2:03:58 predicted finish.
Okay, so they're on the nose again. They've
right
kind of chilled
pace.
out and they're on things here.
Yeah.
Okay. Koske, could you bring up the slide of the prototype shoe?
Oh.
Yeah. So while we're talking about Mantz here, interesting scenario for the shoe nerds, the sneakerheads here. Mantz told our colleague Alex Cyr on Friday that he confirmed that he is wearing a prototype shoe. We got word that this shoe existed earlier this week because your shoe has to be submitted to World Athletics in order to get approval from World Athletics for it to be a legal shoe for records and that sort of thing, and also to compete in these majors legally. So the stack height can't be higher than 40 millimeters at its highest point. This shoe could be the Alpha Fly 4, a prototype of it. We got it on screen now here. It looks kind of, I can't believe I'm saying it, kind of disappointingly similar to the Alpha Fly 3. It could just be the Alpha Fly 3 S or whatever. Anyway, it's currently got this very kind of bland generic name that they've given it. They've given it this name. It's Dev 16141 is the name of the shoe currently. Mantz admitted that he didn't feel it was remarkably different than the Alpha Fly 3 that he's run in previously. He said that it feels a little lighter and there has been some changes, but he was not able to indicate what those changes were. I think he's not allowed to talk about what the changes are.
Probably not.
I think Nike just want to keep that under the lid for now. We'll try to eyeball the specific colorway he's wearing, but the shoe that was submitted for approval, that's on the screen right now, is it's actually got the same look and colorway as the Eliud Kipchoge drop. They put like no human is limited on the side of the shoe, which is Kipchoge's famous quote. I'm not sure if Mantz is wearing that exact shoe or not, but that's the shoe that's on Mantz's feet, and that could be the Alpha Fly 4, which will probably drop in the spring of 2026.
Testing it out now.
How they do it. It's been 2 years since the Alpha Fly 3. 2023 in the fall is the first time we saw it. It was on it was on the feet of the athletes in Chicago in 2023, and then became available in April 2024. So that's the timeline.
I have a couple updates, some
let's
info for us. So actually, I'm not going to take credit for this. I'm patching in Alex Cyr. So this lead group of 5 who we just talked about their 15K split, where they came in 42:41. Just for us reference, Kelvin Kiptum crossed that mark in 2003 in 43:09.
2023.
2023. Thank you. I misspoke. 2023. So this lead group today has come in past the 15K a little bit faster. And for those of you asking about Rory, because I see a bunch of, I've just turned to the comments here and the questions.
Nice.
So Rory is running about 5 seconds behind Mantz. And so Mantz split in 44:04 and Rory in 44:10. So he's right there. He's just a few seconds behind. And I don't know. I just wanted to read this comment from Mark. Thank you, Mark. They should hire Marathon Handbook to be the commentators.
Well, I mean, the commentators, the NBC commentators did pick our brains. So
thank you, Mark.
Yeah. I'll have to watch back the broadcast afterwards and listen intently for the 3 hours, see if they give us a shout out. But no, I was actually deeply impressed by the NBC crew, because I've been pretty critical in the past of marathon broadcasts, because the bar should be higher than it's been over the years. You know, typically it is a local TV affiliate, NBC, ABC, whatever, that is doing the broadcast. They have the infrastructure in place. They buy the rights to the broadcast for their big city marathon. Boston does this, New York does this, and Chicago does this as well. And it's been a mixed bag over the years. A lot of the time, they're kind of trying to do too many things at the same time. They're trying to tell this like local story, this community story. They're trying to play up the charitable angle, of course. They're trying to talk about, they usually identify some runners in the community that are running and trying to spotlight them. And then they kind of in the end, they do kind of a bad job at everything, including covering the elite race and also kind of telling those stories too. And it feels kind of antiquated. And I will give the NBC crew credit that they clearly were passionate about the elite race and trying to understand, as non-runners, like, admittedly, they're like, we don't, they follow running to a degree because they know they're doing the broadcast every year, but they're not like dyed-in-the-wool running nerds like we are. So they are thankfully doing some research and some hard work to kind of figure out what the heck is going on at the elite races so they can be competent in talking about it and, hope for the best for them. We always want the broadcast to be excellent. It's just,
I don't know what you thought about Berlin, but that was a really nice broadcast to listen to.
Yeah.
Berlin had a lot of really interesting information. It was, that was a very nice one, just to give them credit where credit's due. I've got the 20K men's split for the lead group.
Yeah.
So their predicted finish is now 2 hours and 27 seconds.
Yeah. So they've
settled in. They've
backed off a little bit. I wonder if that first 10K is going to come back to haunt them.
I'm worried about it. I was worried when I saw the first 5K. I was very worried.
Yeah.
1:57 predicted finish time was scary. Yeah.
In the first 5K.
In the first 5K.
That's nuts.
Yep. That was
I'm
insane.
curious to see how Mantz handles that as well.
Yep.
As we noted, Rory Linkletter hanging slightly back from that Mantz group, but still there. So that's an interesting choice on his part. I think could turn out to be a wise choice. We're going to see. So, yeah. Before we get the half split on the men's side, let's talk a little bit about. I'm wearing some of the. Let's nerd out a little bit about what we saw at the expo.
Oh, I didn't wear one of my Chicago shirts.
You're like a good member of the team by wearing the company outfit. I decided I was like, I'm going to put on the one. It's part of the merchandise. It's part of the merch that was up for grabs at the expo. What we went through all the Nike stuff at the expo. They had their big spread of everything Chicago this year. This is sort of if you're watching along, this is sort of the design, the look. Do you have the slide of the shirt, of the race shirt? I got a photo of the race shirt from the expo from a participant who was running he was running his first marathon and was very excited about it. And he shared the shirt with me so I could take a photo of it.
Oh, nice.
And what's rate on 10 for me what you think the overall merch, because it's in this style. What's your on 10 ranking for finisher shirt and for the overall merch that you see this year?
Look at that.
Be fair, be honest. You Katelyn always goes positive. She's always like, I really like because you're thinking about the people who designed it, and you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
I didn't see this yesterday. You know, I tried on just about everything on that floor.
Yeah.
But this one, of course, I did not see. I loved the green. Did you see the green singlet?
I did.
I liked that.
You liked the green singlet?
That was fun. Yeah, the fit was perfect. It was really nice and comfortable.
This is warming up to me. I would have said initially I would have given it like a 5.5 out of 10 because I was kind of like, meh. Like my question is, whenever I run a race, is I'm pretty fussy. Am I going to wear the finisher shirt?
Are you going to wear it again?
Am I going to wear it again? Is it a throwaway?
That's
is
a
it
good
a donation?
question.
By the way, we just got the half marathon split, and we also got someone just drop out.
Yeah, it wasn't a pacer.
No, I think it might have been Timothy Kiplimo who just stepped off.
Okay,
although maybe that was a pacer. Hold on,
I did see a pacer also step off. Yeah, the Pacers are gone. Confirmed. Pacers are gone.
Yeah.
And here we go. Just another little update here. We've got the 20K split for men. They're still 33 seconds ahead of Calvin Kipton's. Just to throw that out there.
Yeah, I eyeballed. It was a 60 that they went through the first half in. It was around a 60-30. We should get the split in a second.
Here we go. I've got it right here. 60-16, 1 hour and 16 seconds.
Wow.
Wow.
So
oh
they're
my
pacing
gosh.
2 hours and 30
seconds. Oh my goodness. They're right there.
Okay. So worth noting here
Yep.
is right at the halfway split, John
Korir.
Korir
Bye.
has created a little bit of daylight between him and the rest of the league group.
Wow. Okay.
And he is seemingly out for a Sunday jog right now.
What a stride. Look at that. Look at the
Pretty
ease.
beautiful runner, actually.
Yeah, he really is.
Makes it look pretty comfortable, very
Wow.
aerobic. I mean, it's, I guess, the way it should look if you're running a marathon. But
That's not how I look when I run hard.
No. Yeah. I mean, could
think
I
I
run
always
1
look like I'm
kilometer at his
dying.
pace? I'm not sure. So we get the half split, just really not far behind is this chase group.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is really interesting. So this chase group went out pretty aggressively too, but also settled in and, it's slightly less spicy than
Yep.
world record pace. And there's a big group of people here.
Yes.
I do wonder what happens with this chase group in the second half, if any of them are going to move up and pass some of
Right.
that league group that just went out so hard.
I wonder.
Yeah.
The chase group, Connor Mantz, is about a minute. Let me see. No, they passed the 21 mark in 102.19.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they've backed off considerably, and they're pacing at 2:04 4:38 pace, right? Did I do the math correct there?
37.
37,
That
okay.
it still counts. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah. And so there is there's a significant group in this. Let's call this it is a chase group, but
Yep.
like it's the 2:04 group right now. Although they are pretty significantly slower through half now than the planned 2:04 flat pace that the Pacers are supposed to take them through. Although if I'm Connor Mantz and my goal is to set the American record and the North American record, which is 2:05.36, I'm happy with this because 2:04 flat is on the verge of being dangerous.
So much faster. Yeah, a little too much faster. I wonder. I'm just thinking back to seeing that John Korir not slipping away, surging forward. I wonder if it's too early for him to make a move like that. What do you think? Halfway through? Or no, or he just coasted the first half of the marathon.
He didn't coast.
No, he didn't
coast. That's even for Mr. Korir, that's very hard pacing. He did something similar to this in Boston, but it was much later. It was the more sort of like traditional kind of conventional mark for making your big move in a marathon, which was right at
like
literally
30K.
right at 32 kilometers.
32, okay.
So at 20 miles.
20 miles, yeah.
Basically, he got through the Newton Hills and then was like, all right, see you guys. But Boston, he kind of was running on fumes in the last few K. Our colleague Koske got an awesome photo in the spring of Korir, like looking back behind him on Boylston Street, because I think he was realizing that he was slowing down and he was kind of running with a little bit of fear that maybe he was going to get caught, but he had a sizable gap to win Boston. Korir just did a little quick head check there. Now, you don't often see him he's not a look over the shoulder guy in races, except for that Boston situation I just described. But he did a little head check there to see what the gap was like. But he is on his own now. He's like sessioning this thing now, and we're going to see whether or not he's got something special in his legs for this Chicago Marathon like he did last year.
And we will be coming up on the women's 21K split pretty soon. Not quite, but we're just about there.
They just passed through 20 about a minute ago now. So we're gonna get a half split, which is sort of the true tell of what the plan has been all along and where they're going.
And they sped up again. Sped up again because now for this split at the 20K, the predicted finish is now 2:14.59.
Yeah, so they're right on that.
So they're like
2:15 number.
they're sticking really close to that, but slightly speeding up.
So in context, the women's race, the cloud looming over this race, of course, this year has been Ruth Cheptegei, who
Yes.
still technically holds the women's world record of 209.56. She set it here last year in Chicago, and then subsequently was tested positive for a banned substance, a diuretic that is widely known to be something you can't take as an elite athlete, and B, something that is widely used as a masking agent to hide other banned substances that you might be taking. And so she's been provisionally suspended, and if the suspension sticks, she'll be suspended for between 2 and 4 years. My guess would be 4 years as a conventional anti-doping suspension. And she's basically just totally screwed everything up.
It's so disappointing.
Yeah.
And, it's so incredibly disappointing because I was one of the people who was fighting against the grain. Like, no, she absolutely did it. We have to support her because there was a lot of controversy at the time when she set that world record. And so I'm just so incredibly disappointed if there was something like that in the mix.
And what's messed all this up now is like, how do we talk about this performance we're seeing now? Let's suppose this performance, whomever wins today, is clean, and say they run a 215 flat or a 214 high, which is an incredible performance. You're starting to have to do this weird sort of like talk around of Cheptegei's performance, where it's like, well, she did technically still, because she's not the record. The record has been ratified. World Athletics seemed to be in a hurry to ratify it for some bloody reason, and now it's ratified. So that means that there has to be a whole process if they were to scratch that record, which they may not, and it just becomes this like asterisk next to her name informally. So in the record books for Chicago, and in terms of celebrating performance, 215 would be an incredible performance. It would be one of the best performances in Chicago history, after Sifan Hassan, who won it in 2023. She ran 213, and then Bridget Koske several years ago now set the then world record in 214 in Chicago as well. So it would fall in the neighborhood of the top 3 finishes minus Cheptegei. Like, what a mess, Are we going to try to get Alex in on this?
Oh, nice.
Okay, but how are we going to hear Alex is the big question. Okay, as long as we don't get feedback, we're good. Yeah, okay.
All right, we're patching him in.
We're going to try to get Alex Cyr, our colleague, in here to get his takes. He always has many. So, yeah. So we'll be able to hear Alex. You'll be able to hear Alex on our stream, and we'll be able to hopefully hear Alex so we can talk to him.
Okay, women are through the halfway mark, 21K, at exactly a 2:15.00. For
2:15
finish.
flat.
2:15 flat.
I kind of feel like, let's go back to the first opening 5K for the elite women. I'm just curious to see what. So they've run really, really consistently, and I'll make a not so bold prediction here that consistency will pay off, and that they will run a very nice time because of that. Not to say that the men's side is
going to choke.
No, I'm not saying that.
Of course not. They just went out a little more on the aggressive side than the women did.
Yeah.
So let's see where that brings everybody.
Yeah. So an update if you're just jumping in and listening to our live stream here. Men's elite field, John Korir and company went out super hard. We're pacing 157 pace to the first 5K because, hey, why not?
They really wanted to break that 2-hour mark. They really want to break the 2-hour mark.
Why not run a 5K road PR like in
your marathon?
For some, maybe not these guys. And then they backed off bit by bit, and now Korir's out front on his own. He's gapped Kiplimo and company by at least a few seconds now, and he's now totally like cruising this thing on his own, and we'll see what he's got in his legs. But they split the first half in 1 hour and 16 seconds. So that is just under world record pace.
And this is the first time we're seeing a Lemu. We're finally getting a shot of her who is right now in third place in the women's field, and she's about 7 seconds behind the first group. So we're finally seeing the chase group. However, the chase group is just Alemu. She's back there and she's got a pacer with her. And
she does have a pacer with her,
Yep.
which is good news for her.
Yep.
No news on how far that pacer goes. Generally, they go one of three distances. They go halfway, 25K, or 30K. Although we did see Cheptin Gedich last year have two pacers, I believe, go all the way to the end.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it would be a treat for Alemu if she got a pacer to help her. Almost like a little bit of a cheat code to have a pacer kind of help her stay steady and perhaps move up and close this gap.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah.
We should also note that Alemu is a Nike athlete. The Pacer's a Nike athlete. Chicago Marathon's a Nike race. So she's getting. I don't think you get preferential treatment when you're in your running your brand's race, but certainly she's got company here, which is good for her. I should also say, I'm noting in this year's broadcast, we may have updated the cameras. The cameras are pretty good. Like the shots are pretty good. Like pretty cinematic.
It's a little bit easier to make everyone out, and because that's sometimes a challenge.
Historically, that's been brutal.
That's really tricky.
You're like squinting to figure out because it's like
trying to read bibs and see who's who.
The cameras are not super sharp, and everything's kind of like
blurred,
jittery and blurry.
Mm-hmm. Because we were even having trouble. We like to try to figure out what shoes athletes are wearing, and that has become problematic with the shots. But today's better.
Okay, so we're past halfway. At the very front of the pack on the men's side, we are fast approaching halfway on. Did we cross halfway?
Yeah, we crossed.
We crossed halfway on the women's side now. So the next big split to watch in the elite race will be 25K. At the front, you've got is it an Adidas athlete on the women's side and an ASICS athlete? Am I correct in saying that? I'll get an update in a second, but because I wanted to talk about Koski, I wanted to talk about the Adidas Adios Pro Evo 2, which we've got an image of here, because one of the neat things I noted in the neat things I noted at the expo. I went to the Adidas booth at the expo and they were ransacked. They had almost no product left. And I had a nice chat with one of the people that was working there. And she said that they had 20 pairs of this super exclusive shoe that I believe we've got on screen right now. The Adidas Adios Pro Evo 2, which is the new iteration of their like super duper shoe.
Oh, wow.
Alex and I have been calling it a hyper shoe, but it's not, I don't know if it's sticking. This might be the fastest shoe in the world. This is the shoe definitely that Nike is looking at when they're doing their development. And they're like, how do we beat this shoe? Because this shoe is like dominated this year. Sebastian Sawe wore this exact shoe in Berlin to run his race. And it's a little lighter than the first iteration of this shoe. It's extremely powerful. And they had 20 pairs total of all different sizes available in Chicago as like a surprise drop in Chicago. The shoe is impossible to get. It's impossible to get. You cannot find it anywhere. It's $500 US.
Did they sell out immediately, or they still had them there because of the price point?
When I went in on Saturday, they had 3 total pairs left in like very small sizes, like men's 7 and 7.5.
Oh, so like they would have fit me.
That's right. Well, you have an extra $500 for another pair of shoes.
No, I don't.
And they are not very durable shoes either. So, anyway, so they sold out pretty much their 20 shoes. I'm sure that those last 3 pairs.
I'm sure they would. Yeah.
I was talking to a woman who was trying to fit her foot into the glass slipper, so to speak. She was trying to get her foot into the Adidas shoe in a certain size, close enough to her size, and she was like, they're just too small.
Yeah, and they
she
can't
wanted
be
them
too small
so badly.
Yeah.
She's like, they're just too small. Anyway, that's one of the cool things about Chicago is you get an opportunity to buy this like absolutely impossible to get shoe if you're lucky enough to have whatever size they have. So, there you go.
Look at the chase group. It's turned into like a line, like just a single file A single file line. Do we have Alex on?
Yeah, we're starting to see in the chase group.
Okay.
In the chase group, we're starting to see. Yeah, they're starting to see the pace train thing develop here.
Right.
Which happens, obviously when you're seeing a lot of stress in the group, as they start to kind of like do a single file line, which is probably pretty good for like aerodynamics. Although I guess like the smartest way would be to organize like a chevron, but who the heck's going to do that? 25K to a marathon. It's like, all right, gang, let's all get together. Yeah, exactly.
I have Alex's 25K breakdown too. So we've got Kiplimo and Korir, right? They're on pace for 2 hours and 10 seconds. So at the 25K split for Kelvin Kiptum, he had run a 1:12:04. So these guys ran a 1:11:12. So as Alex says, these two guys are flying and they are still on pace right now to break the world record.
I love seeing this.
Wow.
I love that Kiplimo closed that little gap that Korir tried to open up there.
Oh, yeah. He didn't let him get away.
They will both benefit from this as well, because I have absolute faith that John Korir is the man to run the second half of a marathon on his own really fast, because he's done this before a couple of times, but he's going to benefit from running with a dance partner here.
Oh, absolutely. Just having someone there.
And Kiplimo as well. Kiplimo, interestingly, the field broke apart at about 30K at the water at the bottle station at around 32K in London in the spring, and Sebastian Sawe took off on everybody.
Oh,
made this like dirty in a good way. I'm not criticizing him. Made this filthy is probably perhaps a better, because it's got a positive connotation. Made a filthy move out of the bottle station and dropped everybody. And Kiplimo did a really nice job to sort of sort himself and chase, and then finished in second place. So he showed some real tenacity there and not fading away. Like a lot of that group faded away.
Yeah, they really did. Well, he just
made
such a fast break. That was hard to keep up with.
He dug in. You could see it. He like really sped up. I mean, it's going to be a really fun conversation for the nerds, for us nerds, if this race turns out to be one of the fastest men's marathon performances ever, because you're now going to have this discussion about who's the best right now. Is it John Korir? Is it Jacob Kiplimo? If he can do something special today, is it Sebastian Sawe? And I got a really neat hot take from Cyprian Katut, the Kenyan runner, who's on screen in a couple seconds here with Connor Mantz, because he's in that group with Connor Mantz, the 204 group. Cyprian Katut trains with Sebastian Sawe. They're both Adidas athletes. And Katut said to me, this is a hot take. And I love getting a hot take from like a guy who's in the mix.
Right.
And he was like, to me, Sebastian Sawe's performance in Berlin this year is, to me, emotionally the world record.
Okay.
Yeah. The reason for that is he's like, nobody else could have performed the way he did given the conditions.
He's absolutely right. I mean, I feel those conditions were the heat was so oppressive. And that's what we were just talking about earlier. You could see it in his face and the sweat pouring down, but he had the grit to push through anyway. How many people can really do that on such a warm day?
So, Berlin was in the mid 80s by the finish of the elite race.
Imagine.
It was brutal. Yeah. The starting temps were in the mid 70s, which, as a point of reference, studies overwhelmingly suggest that the ideal performance for any athlete, in particular elite athletes, is around 7 degrees Celsius, which is 45. Yeah,
45 Fahrenheit. Right, yeah.
So I mean, Berlin was just out of control hot. It was, and it gets precipitously worse when it's hot. Right?
Yeah.
And even today, start temp was a little warmer than that. It was 11 degrees Celsius, which isn't what,
50s, low mid 50s. Yep, low 50s.
But that shouldn't affect the elite athletes as much. It may take the edge off of your your recreational runners behind the elite group, especially if you're in a later wave.
A later start time, yeah.
Yeah, so you might be following along your pals at home on the app, on the Chicago Marathon app, tracking their progress. And we might get a couple of tough days at the office Instagram posts at the end of this from the running community, because it might get it's sunny and it might get a little warm by the finish, but it shouldn't be too bad. But you're probably going to see a mixed bag from the field overall. I did notice. We put out an Instagram post yesterday, and it was a neat stat of like, what's the fastest field in Chicago history? Like if you take every finisher and you average their finishing time as an overall field average, it's kind of a cool idea, right? Like if you ran Chicago last year, your overall average was, I think, 4:29 something. So it's like, your group, your cohort from 2024, which I was a part of, put up a 4:29 on the board. And I believe it was like 2002 has a 4:29 average. It's slightly faster. So that's the fastest overall field average in history.
Okay.
Curious to see if this year's field can do better than the 4:29 overall. Okay. Yeah. The nerdy stuff.
I was going to say, that's a nice little stat.
It's a way to think about it as like almost like a 50, you're participating in a 50,000 person cross country team against other teams across the years. It's a very bizarre way of thinking of it, but so
we're watching the men's chase group right now, right? Yes. Yeah. Right.
This is the men's chase group. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a line here. Good news for American distance running fans. Your boy, Connor Mantz, is cruising along, looking good. He's clearly very focused. It's always tough to tell whether he's struggling, because he's got such a determined stride from the jump.
From the start, yeah. Yeah.
He looks good.
Yeah, but
he always looks like he's working.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say. He doesn't have that seamless John Korir, I'm not doing anything stride.
The chill vibe.
Yeah. He looks like he's strong, but he's working really hard all the time. That's so right. Yeah, you can't tell.
And do we have where are we at here with
see.
the splits?
Where are we here? We've still just got the 25.
We're still at 25.
We're still at the 25. Yep.
Really excited to see what this 30K split is for John Korir and Jacob Kiplimo. Really curious to see what that's going to be.
I'm going to give the Rory update.
Yes.
So it says Rory at 25 kilometers. He's in 15th place, and he's on pace right now for a 2:04:36, which would be a big PR for him as well.
I'd love to. Let's take so a little quick update here. We've seen a changing of the guard here.
Just pulled away
there is a gap between Jacob Kiplimo and John Korir, and the kid, Jacob Kiplimo,
he decided to
is
take
out
off.
front. He is out front, and he's got a smile on his face.
He does.
Was it a smile or a grimace? I don't know. Either way, he is now leading the Chicago Marathon.
Wow.
And we can timestamp ourselves here. That's at 1:24:36 that we just called that. He's made the definitive move. I would say he did a little check back to see.
He just took
There's
a look.
A good gap that's formed, and he looks really good.
He does. He looks incredibly strong and just focused and calm.
Check the watch. I love it. Right on schedule.
Yeah, here we go.
He's like, I got a reservation for 10 a.m. for brunch. Just need to get this thing done and get showered. No, he looks really good.
He did say in one of the interviews that the difference between this training block and the training block before is that he added in a whole lot more mileage.
Yeah. Yeah, the gap is huge now.
Wow.
You can see Korir in the distance, but again, that sort of foreshortening image of the on the screen of the telephoto lens makes it seem closer, and he doesn't even seem close. So we just went through 30K there.
Yep, he did. So we've got Jacob Kiplimo. Yep, 30K, 125:31. And he's on pace for 2 hours and 16 seconds. And John Korir right behind 1:25:43. Well, not right behind, 12 seconds after. He already got a gap of 12 seconds.
So Korir opened up a 12-second gap in about 400 and 500 meters.
Right, like nothing.
So that either means Kiplimo just surged and took it to another level, or Korir is fading. One or the other. And you can't knock Kiplimo Korir for fading, given how hard they ran that first half.
Absolutely.
If he is indeed fading. So here we have it. Yeah.
He may just be sticking on pace though, because this 30K that Jacob Kiplimo just ran, 2 hours and 16 seconds of the predicted finish time is faster than the last split we just saw. So
yeah. So I should say this. 16 seconds is not impossible to close in the last 12 kilometers of a marathon. Keep an eye on, we're on sub 2 hour watch here.
Oh my goodness, this is getting really exciting.
The 5K split from 30 to 35 is going to be so huge to see if he falters at all, or if he's able to stick that pace, or perhaps even speed up a touch. It's a lot to ask, but
oh my goodness.
Okay, so the men's lead race has, I think we're barring disaster, Kiplimo is locked right now, but never count out John Korir.
Right. Kiplimo wants this bad. Oh my goodness.
Do we have a 30K men's chase group split yet? We do not.
No, we just have. Well, here we go. We have Timothy Kiplagat.
Okay, Kiplagat, who was in that lead group.
Yeah, he's come back. He just came in at 1:27:42 for the 30K. So he's about 2 minutes behind the lead pack.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
pack of two.
That just
not a pack at this
point. That gives you
point.
a great idea of how quickly fortunes change in the marathon.
Right.
Timothy Kiplagat was in that lead group right up until about halfway, and then has fallen back by over 2 minutes now, and it's probably going to continue to grow that gap, which, that's tough. It just shows like how precipitously tough the marathon gets if you run outside of what you're capable of doing on the day. And that's even for elite athletes.
It's definitely for us.
Definitely for us.
Do you know what that feels like, Michael? I sure know what that feels like.
It's not a great feeling.
It's not a great feeling, no.
It takes a lot of mental and physical toughness to grind your way through the last 10K of a race if you ran in the first 32K too hard.
Too fast, yeah. Exactly.
All right. So the women's American race.
I want to know what's going on.
Let's pull up the closest.
Okay, the closest I think we have the splits. We have not seen them on screen the entire broadcast so far. Not one time. But we have Dakota Popin, and she came through 25K with at a 1:23:38, which means that she has a projected finish of around 2:21, which is a bunch of minutes off her PR. So she's not on. She did say she really wanted to push for a sub 2:20. She's not on pace for that right now, but there's still a lot of time left in the race. Then we have Natasha Rogers, who is 7 seconds behind her. And we have Gabriella Rooker, who is about almost 2 minutes behind those two.
I mean, kind of unfortunate for these three women that they're not grouped together to work together.
Right.
And we should note that Dakota Popin she's faded off, that she was running that sub 220 pace in the last split that we looked at. Yeah. So she's starting to slow a little bit, which usually is not a great signal for where you're going to end up finishing in terms of time. So we'll keep an eye on that. But it was always interesting, and specifically in Chicago, is keeping an eye out on where the American women finish. It's historically been a race where you see the American women nab a few top 10 spots, as high as Emily Sisson a couple of years ago finished second overall. So that's not happening today, I don't think. But
Dakota is in 8th place right now.
So she's in 8th. We'll see if she can hold her place in the top 10.
Right. And Natasha Rogers currently in 10th.
In 10th
overall
place.
For now.
Yeah. Now, Natasha Rogers, interesting character, somebody who I was hoping we get to talk about more and get some screen time of her, but she's somebody who, we'll talk about her for a second here now. She's in her mid-30s. She was a standout track runner and decided to move up to the marathon for the U.S. to try to make the U.S. Olympic team in the marathon last year. Ran Orlando, did not go according to plan. I think she struggled quite badly. I think she had some very serious issues afterwards, some injury issues, some sort of like taking stock of what she was doing, took a step back, figured out some new things, a new training situation, and then ran really well. Went to the women's race, the all women's marathon in Japan earlier this year in February, and ran that 2:23. That is her best mark, and only her second marathon, but moved to the marathon. I don't want to say relatively late, but in your mid 30s in 2025 for the marathon, it's like it's later in the game. That you're seeing a lot of younger runners moving up a lot quicker, and your mid to late 20s now. So she's an interesting character. See how she does. See how she finishes. If she can hold on to that 10th. We've got an update on the women's lead group, which is no longer a group.
It is no longer a group. Okay. No, we've just got one lead runner. I'm just trying to get the splits here.
And it is Howie Fesa who is leading this race, the Adidas athlete. She's in that purple top, and should note here, if you're following the shoe game, the shoe wars, she's wearing the Adidas Adios Pro Evo 1. Now you can define that shoe because that's the white shoe with the black 3 tri-line, the what do you call the three stripes of the Adidas logo? Is it the tri-stripe, 3 stripes?
Alex would know. Alex would know. Alex, let us.
Speaking of which.
Okay.
But can we hear him through here? Hello.
Hello, Mr. Cyr.
We have got Mr. Cyr on the horn. He's patched in from Toronto. We'll try. Hopefully, we don't get feedback because we've sort of like we've MacGyvered. We've scotch taped this thing together. I said MacGyvered, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
But Koske has no idea what MacGyvered is. Do you know what MacGyvered means, Alex?
Oh.
Yeah, I do. And I'm doing it right now. I'm speaking through 3 different cell phones. I don't know how this works. Koske just said talk. So if you can hear me, this is huge. I'm very sleep deprived. I'm very dialed into this marathon.
Yes.
And I think we're about to witness history.
Yes.
I have a take on what happened here.
Okay.
I don't think Kiplimo has put in a surge. What's happening is that John Korir is starting to succumb to the pace. So he just dropped his slowest 5K, a measly 14:31, folks, for John Korir, whereas Kiplimo is staying on the pace. Right now, okay, at 30K, Kiplimo is a full minute, okay, a full minute ahead of where Kelvin Kiptum was, where he broke that record. Now, remember, what was truly spectacular about Kiptum's performance was his last 10K. So Kiplimo still has a lot of race to run, but he's been staying on pace. I also have this crazy detail, all right? So here's a name that the running community might recognize. Krista Duchesne, who's a Canadian marathoner who has done a lot of broadcasting and also who is familiar with Wesley Korir, who is John Korir's older brother. She saw him at, get this, her kids' cross-country meet. I suppose they both have kids who race in the same cross-country circuit, Canada. Wesley Korir said that John Korir was hoping to get a pacer to come down for him specifically to Chicago, but this pacer, I'm not sure who it was, his visa would have been denied. And so, yeah, that's why these guys had no pacers by 21K. They probably couldn't find someone with a permitted visa to make it farther than halfway through. So they were on their own after 21K.
Wow.
And
that's a fascinating detail. Yeah. That is a fascinating
so I don't
detail.
know. So I don't know if this messes with John Korir's race. I would think not, because at least they had each other. And I think the reality of it is just that Kiplimo has more than Korir in the tank right now. But as I said, there's still a lot of racing to be done. And okay, when the men's race finishes, do not close your screen. The North American record is absolutely under siege. I think Conor Mantz has it. I think Rory might have it too. Obviously, only one can get it, but that likely means that the American and the Canadian record are probably going to go down if this continues. They're well into like the 2:04 pace. This would be a career-defining performance by both of them. So yeah, this is like my 90 minutes of pent-up excited energy watching from my
Alex, I've been trying to get in all of your hot takes. I've been looking at your comments, and I didn't take credit for any of them. I did give you credit. I did patch you in at least by reading your very interesting and important information. Thank you for that.
Let's keep going. You guys are doing a great job. My God. Yeah, this is wild. So I've been tracking the splits in comparison to Kelvin Kiptum throughout the race, and they're ahead of his ghost. It's wild. And yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens next.
I mean, if there's anybody that can do this, that can run Kiptum-esque splits for the final 10K of a marathon, who's got the leg speed for it, at least on paper,
right?
It's Jacob Kiplimo, right? Because of that world record in the half marathon he's got.
Right.
He's got, like, the pace theoretically shouldn't feel super fast for a guy of this talent level, but also at the same time, this is a guy who, like, has very little experience in the marathon. He's just run one marathon before, but he's making it look pretty good right now. Like, I don't see a huge faltering in his stride. I think he looks pretty strong.
He does look strong, but we just have update here, guys. Amos Kipruto has now passed John Korir, right? Because we've got, he has come in at mile 21, 1 minute and 5 seconds behind Kiplimo, but I do not see John Korir split yet.
We might have a drop from Korir.
I think that means a drop, because otherwise Kiplimo would have put a full minute on Korir in the last few kilometers. Yeah, and here you have Kiplimo
Kiplimo.
God, this is not looking good for John Korir. I think this might be a drop.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can't confirm it yet. We don't have a confirmation whether or not Korir has dropped out of the race, but we're now starting to see that others who have salvaged their own races and didn't get completely destroyed by that incredible, world record sub 2 hour pace in the first half have at least passed Korir in, if not, if Korir is indeed not, he just stepped off the course.
Yeah, we'll probably know pretty soon once these times keep coming in.
What's really cool here, Alex, is Conor Mantz is not having to do this alone. He's got a lot of company in the 2:04 range right now. Like he's running right behind Masai, who has been with him the entire time. He's almost operating as like a quasi pacer.
Right.
Although poor Masai, I'm sure, is just like, I want to run my own race, dude. Why don't you get in the front of me? But Mantz is running like a really, really smart race right now.
Yeah, guys, this is the most elite men's chase pack in the history of the world, I'm convinced. Daniel Abenyo, Conor Mantz, Zuhair Talbi, Jeffrey Kamworor, Cyprien Katut, Alex Masai. Like, what? That's your chase pack? They're a couple of minutes behind Kiplimo at this point.
We're getting footage here of Amos Kipruto as well. So they've sent a moto back to follow the new chaser, the new second place guy right now, who has overtaken John Korir, and he's looking pretty good actually. He's looking pretty strong. He looks pretty determined. I wonder if he's figured out he's in second place or not. That's always the mystery. Is you don't know. Like,
sometimes you don't know because you don't know if someone has dropped.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't know exactly what happened out front, and you don't know if Korir stepped off the course, maybe you didn't see that, and you're not getting any feedback on the course, so you're just running.
Guys, we have a new race forming, and it is clearly Kiplimo versus Kiptum. The audience in the chat, they want to know Kiplimo's 35K split. It just came out.
Yes,
that's 1:39:53. That doesn't make much sense to anybody just looking at that, but his predicted finishing time now, 2:25. So he is still inside of Kelvin Kiptum's time, still faster, but only by 10 seconds at this point.
That's a tight,
he's going to have to gun it.
That's a tight 10 seconds at this stage in the race, because the 35 to 40 5K split is like, I mean, it might as well be 100K because it's the gut check moment in a marathon.
Right.
It's where races are made or broken. It's where Kelvin Kiptum showed us his greatness. I mean, I know Eliud Kipchoge is the GOAT of the marathon, but I feel like Kelvin Kiptum's incredibly short but almost immaculate sheet of marathon performances are unrivaled in terms of like elite distance running resumes and history. And that guy was just such a master in the second half of a race.
Right.
And so we're going to see from Jacob Kiplimo if he's that level. And if he is that level, the new dawn of talented young world beating men's marathon runners is already upon us with him in Sawe and Korir. But it's just a whole other level if Kiplimo can do this.
So shout out to the Chicago Live Tracking, because now they're offering mile per mile splits. So
Yes.
we've just received an other split from Kiplimo post 35K. This is 22 miles. Okay. And he's lost another 5 seconds on Kiptum. So now he's only 5 seconds ahead of Kiptum's time, which suggests that he's slowing down, or at least he's not picking things up as quickly as Kelvin Kiptum was picking things up in the last few kilometers.
And Amos Caputo he just came through the mile 22 mark, a minute and 16 seconds behind Kiplimo.
Yeah, so he's not really closing a gap, but he's running
But he's
really
staying
well.
really strong. Yeah,
he's running really well.
He's keeping it consistent.
And he's pacing at 2:02 flat right now for his projected finishing time, which would be, one of the great marathon performances as well, like one of the top times ever in history. So obviously very fast. We just saw the lead woman, Fesa, go through the 20-mile marker. We're going to get a split in a second here. She's all on her own. She does have... There's a bit of company looming in the background. We'll pick up that split too so we can see the gap. But we should note that she has a pacer still at 20 miles.
Yeah, she does. Fesa just came through mile 20 in 1:42.52. However, Alemu is only 8 seconds behind.
She's been looming the entire race.
The whole race, she's been there, just kind of between 6 and 7, 8 seconds behind. And Shawry just came through 42 seconds behind. So I think Alemu is still there. She just will make a move at some point, or needs to make a move at some point, but they are close.
Alex, it's like both the women's lead race, the front of the race with the women overall, and then that North American record chase between Mantz and Linkletter are kind of operating in a weird carbon copy or parallel, where like Linkletter has been hanging back a few seconds from Mantz for the entire race, seemingly by choice, and then at the front of the women's race, Fesa has been ahead, but with Alemu choosing to hang back by a few seconds the entire race as well. It's like a really interesting choice, kind of a risky one for those who are chasing, but I wonder if the tables might turn in either of those. I don't know. Mantz looks so good. It's hard to say with Mantz, but when it comes to Alemu and Fesa, I think there's still a lot of racing to go. So it'll be really curious to see how it plays out in the last 10K.
I wonder if they do that to actually put pressure on the one in, because then you feel like, well, they're not with me. So then they have to be kind of paying attention to how close are they? How far behind are they? And keep kind of looking back. Guys, I just want to say that earlier in the race, we were watching Connor Mantz's position overall. Yes. And now he has crept up to 5th place overall. Yeah. He is just picking them off little by little.
So shout out to Cyprian Katut of Kenya, who said Connor Mantz is a podium threat at World Marathon Majors, and he is one of the guys that we pay attention to, because if Mantz continues to run the way he's looking like he's running right now, he may run himself onto the podium in Chicago here. So as an update, Mantz is now out front, and his little group has turned into a group of 3. Yeah. I believe it is Masai and Essa who are running behind him. Masai was doing all the work for the longest time.
Yes, he was.
And now he's sitting on the shoulder of Mantz. Mantz is taking the front. I don't know if it's Mantz putting in a surge or if it's Mantz just saying like, hey, let me do a little bit of the work here and I'll get in the front. There is there's sort of like an unspoken, sort of like common respect that is afforded, that you
like
afford
etiquette?
to your etiquette. Thank you. Is what I'm looking for. There is marathoning etiquette, which is to say if you're running in a group, to take your turn at the front. Now, on a day like today where there's little to no wind, you'd think to yourself like, there's no disadvantage to being in the front, but there is actually a disadvantage to being at the front. You are doing more work. You're actually pulling someone in your slipstream a little bit. That actually does cause them the tiniest bit of extra like work required for your body to kind of pull people in the slipstream. Yeah. And having a little bit of wind resistance at the front will also wear you down a touch as well. But there's the psychological factor of being in the front, being the leader, of like pushing the pace. And maybe Mantz is in this zone now where he's like, let's go. The LFG. I don't know if I don't want to get us flagged here for
let's just say,
but
let's
I don't
go.
think Conor Mantz is dropping F-bombs. I don't know. Something tells me that guy's not a
I don't see him as a swearer. No.
So three key pacing updates. So for the first time, Kiplimo has now dropped to a pace that's slightly slower than Kelvin Kipton's predicted finish time, 2:47. So let's remember the second fastest man in history, Eliud Kipchoge, 2:01.09. I think that's still up for grabs, and that is not nothing. So Kiplimo, and he's still within striking distance of Kipton. So let's keep watching him. Conor Mantz, I don't think he's picked it up necessarily. I think he's the only one in his group that's keeping pace. He's been pacing for 2:04 mid for much of the race now, and that's still his predicted finish time at 22 miles. 2:04.35 is the time we're looking at. Less good news for Rory Linkletter of Canada. 2:06.02 flat is his predicted finish pace at mile 22. So he's faded a bit, but again, he's a 2:07 flat guy, and so he's still pacing well under his own personal best. But I think that North American record chase, of course, with Mantz way ahead of him, is out of the question very likely.
Yeah, that's tough. We're seeing with Mantz here, we're seeing this group. Essa, the third guy, is starting to get kind of strung out here. He's dropping back a bit. We've got Mantz and Masai. Mantz is on Masai's shoulder now, so he's now sitting in that kind of in that slipstream of Masai. A note on Masai here: Kenyan athlete Alex Masai. I believe he's a Hoka athlete, so he's rocking a pair of like maybe the Rocket X3, which this would be uncharted territory for Hoka in terms of speed. And he's a 2:08.03 lifetime personal best. So he's on a heater right now. He's running the race of his life with Mr. Mantz in tow right now. So I love the way Conor Mantz looks right now.
Yeah.
He looks like somebody who's going to run down a sub 2:05. I mean, there's a lot of running left to go, but he looks like somebody who's dialed in.
Checking the watch. Keeps checking the watch.
He's a watch checker, though. Yeah. He does this in races where he likes to keep an eye on things. Also, shout out to Chicago for providing mile by mile splits in the last part of this race.
That makes it exciting.
Because it's giving us a lot more insight into what Jacob Kiplimo is experiencing, what Conor Mantz is experiencing, right? So it's giving us really good insight as to like whether or not we're going to see a world record, whether or not we're going to see a sub 2:01. So, okay. So women's side, Fesa is now on her own. So the Ethiopian athlete is no longer with Pacer. She's got to do this on her own here. She's actually right now, she's running right by where we are. Like she's literally running almost steps away from where we're located.
Oh yeah, look at that.
At the Marathon Handbook live studio here. She's in Chinatown right now. Like literally she just ran by like the corner where we can walk over to get some noodles. So,
I have an update on the women's race. We've got Natasha Rogers passing Dakota Popin, and Dakota is now 8 seconds behind. So they're closer than they were.
Rogers is
before.
like, that's a nice, she's floating in just sub 222 right now as a top American woman. So we talked about her earlier in the watch along show. I mentioned that this is marathon number 3 for her. Marathon number 1 by her description was a disaster and a really negative experience that may have like come close to really like wrecking her love of running. And that was at the U.S. Olympic trials last year, which was a tough race, a hot race, and a lot of pressure to do something, like a lot of pressure to get on that podium and get to Paris. And then she sorted a lot of things out and ran that women's only race in Nagoya, Japan, and had a big breakthrough, ran 2:23, and looks like she might be on course for breakthrough number 2 for her if she can hang on to the pace she's got going right now.
Would be on PR. Alex, I think Kiplimo has slipped a little bit again.
Yeah, it looks like Kiplimo is now in the 2:01:07 predicted finish time, just as he hit mile 24. So we're getting really close to the finish here. And he's still well under his personal best. And if he finishes in 2:01:07, he'll be the second fastest man in history. But it seems like the clock is running away from him. I have to disagree with someone in the comments. Someone in the comments says there's no chance that Conor Mantz medals at this point. I disagree. I think there's still hope to see an American on the podium. So he's currently running in 6th and has about 50 seconds to make up to, or actually let's call it 45 seconds to make up on Philemon Kiplimo to finish in 3rd, and a lot can happen in these last few miles. So I would not count Conor Mantz out. I think bronze is still up for grabs. I think Kiplimo has locked in the win unless something drastic happens. And Amos Caputo, who lifetime best, he's still a sub 2:03 performance that we're about to see from him, will likely grab the silver medal. So we're still going to see fast things. It's too quick for a race post-mortem, but I think that really fast start has come back to bite a lot of these men.
Yeah, I mean,
think so.
Hindsight is 20/20, of course, but I will be curious to hear what Jacob Kiplimo has to say in the post-race press conference about whether or not that opening 5K might have been a little bit of a miscalculation by this group. I'm fairly confident that John Korir will echo that sentiment. Whether he says it publicly or not, it certainly was, in plain view by what happened to him in the second half of this race. But it would be a little bit of a gut punch here if we get Kiplimo just outside the world record and you start asking yourself the question of a slightly more even approach in the first 10K. Could it have yielded something in the ballpark of striking distance for the world record in the second half? But then again, it's like, you're not going to know if you don't try.
Right. And you start beating yourself up with the coulda, shoulda, woulda, and you'll just drive yourself crazy. Yeah. But that first 5K was incredibly fast. We weren't expecting such an aggressive start. So it could very well be that it took a toll on some of the best.
I mean, Alex, you said in our live pod on Friday that we did here in Chicago that this is a day of opportunity, that this is the theme of this weekend, that the weather is pretty much ideal, that you get this incredibly fast field at the front, especially in the men's side, and you get these perfect conditions. And then overall, for just everyone in the race, with that weather being decent and with Chicago being pancake flat and super fast, that it's a situation where opportunities abound. How do you think that that's unfolding right now? I think it's like the opportunity is definitely there.
Well, let me tell you what the biggest opportunity is right now. As I was saying 2 minutes ago, 3rd place is very much up for grabs. There are now only 15 seconds separating Philemon Kiplimo, who's currently running in third, and Conor Mantz, who's running in sixth. Kiplimo, Kamworor, Masai, and Mantz will have a 4-man race for that third spot on the podium. And let's remember what happened to Conor Mantz in Boston. He slipped off the podium, just barely off. In a sprint finish, he had to settle for 4th place despite running just a little bit over 2:05 in an excellent race.
That's a
in
great
his post-race
snapshot.
interviews, it stung. So this is now his shot at finally getting on the podium. Imagine what kind of day this would be for Conor Mantz, breaking the American record by nearly a minute and getting himself a bronze medal. This is going to be tight near the end.
Yeah, I imagine. I mean, that would be in my head for sure. If I were Conor Mantz, imagine being Conor Mantz. What an interesting experience that'd be. That would burn a hole in my mind because you're as a competitive person, as somebody who is, always searching for more out of yourself. Finishing just off the podium in Boston as an American athlete with that big breakthrough day. I mean, it was the cherry on top that was missing in what was otherwise just like such a superlative day for Conor Mantz in April in Boston. So, I mean, he doesn't know this right now, Alex. He doesn't know. I mean, you can kind of like figure that he's in a good spot, but he has no idea what's happening in the front of this race, right? So he might get some feedback from on the course. This is one of like
hopefully he does, because I feel like that can sometimes push you just that little extra
the psychological
bit
element.
to say, could I get on the podium here?
Yeah.
Am I really in 4th, 5th place? Am I right there? I mean,
you're hoping that people on the course are following along like we are on the leaderboard on their phone, and they're yelling like, Conor, you're in 6th, or you're 18 seconds back from 3rd, because that kind of thing is the sort of thing that's going to keep you from any like little mental slips, right?
Right.
So, oh man, there's like the photographer
Wow.
from the Hoka event the other night was just trying to get a photograph of Conor Mantz, and I think he nearly gave himself a groin pull just trying to keep up to the guy.
Just for 10 steps.
So, little pace update. Kiplimo now has 1 mile to go. 2:01:48 is predicted finish time. Undisputed. Amos Caputo, 1 mile to go, and he'll be over the 2:03s, it does seem. So those are the two guys. And at 40K, Conor Mantz is running in 4th. Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Alex
Here we
Masai
go.
Oh,
and
let's
Conor
do it.
Mantz are now in a 2-horse race for 3rd place. Now, if I'm Conor Mantz, I have a bit of PTSD. There's a sprint finish for bronze. Will he win this one? But this time, he's with an athlete that he knows quite well, and Alex Masai, who's done a lot of racing in the States. Jeffrey Kamworor now 9 seconds back in 5th, and Philemon Kiplimo is absolutely blowing up, currently running in 7th.
Oh my,
Wow.
You're right. This is like, this is definitely shades of Boston, where it's like Mantz in 4th. He's battling with a top flight Kenyan dude, and he's like, to get on the podium, it's going to be nuts to see if he can do it or not. We're finally getting some footage of the American women for the first time in the race.
As they're finishing
2
up.
hours into the event.
Right.
Cool. Okay. We got a couple seconds there. We had Dakota Popan on screen a couple minutes ago. And then I believe we had Natasha Rogers just a second ago as well. Both had a pacer with them still, which is great, coming through 22 miles. So they've got a little more. They got about four miles to go, about 8K to go before the end of the race here. And then just back to Jacob Kiplimo at the front. He did a little head check there. He did a little look over the shoulder. He still looks really good. The form is like, I mean, the guy's so mechanically sound.
Yeah, come on. It's just perfection. Oh, look at checking back. He's worried.
Here.
Go, just go.
He's in the end here. He's in the final stretches. He's on Michigan Avenue right now.
Yep.
He's about to, soon enough, he'll make so there's a right, and it's the only hill in the race. In the shakeout runs that we did this week.
Yes.
We ran. So on Friday we ran the hill, and then we ran by the hill on Saturday morning as well. And the hill is not much of a hill. It's a very slight incline. You would not notice it in the vast majority of marathons, but because it's the only hill in Chicago,
I feel like they feel it. I feel like they feel
there's
it.
a little grit required here. You're going to see him take a turn here. And he's going to go up an incline here.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes a right, and then you're running up this hill for a few hundred meters. Then you hang a left, and then you're in Grant Park, and we're going to see the finishing chute here.
Oh my goodness.
And we're going to see Jacob Kiplimo win the 2025 Chicago Marathon. I got Boston on my mind because I got Connor Mantz on my mind.
Yes, I know. I'm just thinking about that as well.
Yeah, so you can see.
Yeah, I think for the first time, Kiplimo looks like he's hurting. This is the hill.
Yeah, so he's just past the 26-mile split here. So he's got the 0.2 left to go. There's a little bit of a grind to get to the top here, and then he's going to hang a left, and then we're going to see the big stanchions. We're going to see he's got 300 meters to go now.
But he'll get a big PR.
Yeah. Oh, a big PR. I love you, like the coach Katelyn, always so positive. He's like he missed the world record, but the bright side is he's going to get a big PR.
He's going to get a huge PR.
Yeah.
I mean, he's amazing.
Yeah.
He's new to the marathon. Can you imagine what he has?
This is marathon number 2,
Come
and
on.
he slayed a big dragon in John Korir. I think he ran a really smart race. All things considered, you have to go if you're this guy, you have to go with whatever the other leaders in the race are doing in the first half of this race.
Right.
And I thought for a second Korir was going to break through and create a gap in that.
Yes,
after
as
21K.
did I. Mm-hmm.
And then he came back here, and so we're going to get an unofficial time in a second here. But
there we go.
Jacob Kiplimo has won the Chicago Marathon in a unofficial time of 2:02. Mm-hmm. Let's refresh the.
Yeah, it was 2:02:21. It looked like when he ran through. At least that's what the clock said. See what we've got here.
He's cramping up big
oh
time.
No!
As he
Oh my
the
goodness gracious! 2:02:23.
2:02:23.
Unofficial time.
Unofficial is his finishing time.
Poor guy there.
It's one of the top marathon performances in history. It's a significant step forward for this young guy.
Wow.
He's 24 years old. I think that the future is extremely bright for men's marathon running at the top of the game with him and Sawe and John Korir. And we're going to get...
I'm getting so nervous for Connor Mantz. I need an update.
Update is they're still 1 second apart.
Oh my goodness, Alex.
Oh, this is going to be so tight. Let's wait. Amos Caputo is about to get to the finish line. Okay, there's some footage of him, I believe.
I wonder
oh my God, that looks like it's painful for Jacob Kiplimo. Well
I wonder
done.
if Caputo's surprised that he's got second place here, because he may not have an awareness.
He might not know, yeah.
As to, I mean, he probably has noticed the moto camera, following him, which will be some indication that like, hey, you're doing something special here.
Right.
But he gets second place in about 2:03:54 unofficially.
Yep. Connor Mantz.
And here we go.
Oh my goodness.
Is he third? I think he's third.
I think he's third.
Oh my.
Oh, this is very. No.
No, he's
fourth.
fourth. Oh, no.
Go. My goodness.
What a cruel bit of video of production we had there. We had Connor on his own, and then it's like, nope, there's Masai.
Yes.
It looks like we're going to get a repeat of Boston.
Yes.
Where Mantz is going to be just off the podium. He's going to be in fourth place.
But
Masai takes the third.
record.
But Connor Mantz is going to take the North American record.
Yes.
In 2:04:41 unofficially.
Wow.
Or thereabouts. That is a massive step forward for him. That's obviously a personal best. That is a new American record and a new North American area record as well, which he takes from Canadian Cam Levins. And he does so by a good margin, man. He did that by over 35-ish seconds. I'm just doing quick math here as my brain is turning into soup.
He's not cramping up.
No.
He looks good. Wow, that was incredible.
Huge. That is huge.
What a big day.
He looks pretty good too.
That's what I'm saying.
Waves
He's
the
not cramping
crowd.
up. He looks fantastic.
He's not fully collapsing to the ground. He's
Right.
sort of walking around. He gave a little handshake to Jacob Kiplimo, another Nike athlete. Giving everyone a handshake at the finish line.
Yeah.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Fourth place. Wow.
And I should note, for the shoe nerds out there, I just eyeballed the shoes.
Oh, yes.
They're sort of like it was a different colorway than the one that we posted on our Instagram of the prototype, and the one that Nike submitted. It was like more of an all white with a black swoosh, from what I could tell. So there you have it. So Conor Mantz does something special today.
He really does.
And I would say Jacob Kiplimo definitely did something
Absolutely.
special as well.
He's our new rising star. I mean, he is a star, but he's just got world record written all over him. Don't you think, coming up?
What's really cool about what we're getting to see here? Okay, so Khalid Kanushi just came out. He was the American record holder for 23 years. He just came and congratulated Conor Mantz.
Nice. Very
and
nice.
They're getting a photo together right now. That's super cool. That's super cool.
So I have an update on the women's race. If we want to just, because that is very closely coming to an end as well. So Fesa now has 1 minute on Alemu. So she has pulled away a little bit by mile 24. And then in third place, Magdalena Showery is 2 minutes and 21 seconds behind. So it looks pretty much like first, second, and third place are pretty dialed into their spots.
Now at mile 24. There's 2 miles to go. That's not much to go.
Yeah.
And we should also note that Face is putting on a little bit of a clinic for marathon running here. Mm-hmm. Her splits are about as even as it can get.
Yes.
She's splitting, unsurprisingly for her, 2:15 flat through 24 miles. I mean, I think she's done that every 5K split.
She really
miles
has.
We've seen she's hit 2:15 flat, 2:14.59, 2:15 flat over and over again. So she has run just the smoothest, evenest race ever.
And she'll PR by 2 minutes if she gets her 2:15 flat.
Yeah.
I'm all about the PRs.
That's right. All about the PRs.
It's not a big deal enough that she's going to win the race, but she's also going to smash her PR by 2 minutes.
I'm curious to see what she's got left in the tank here.
Yeah.
She just crossed the 40K mark, so she's got about 2K to go now.
Yep. And as a surprise,
2:15 flat.
She's incredible.
40K.
What a machine.
It'd be really interesting to see if she dips a little if she gets a little faster in the last couple of K here, and if she can run a 2:14.45 or 50 or something like that. Whether she's got that, or whether it's or whether she perfectly paced it, which you never see on any level in marathon running. It's extremely rare to run there should be a name for this. There's like pitching a perfect inning in baseball. It should be called like the Immaculate Marathon.
Yeah.
And every 5K split is exactly the same. She's running pretty much as close to that as you can possibly get.
Yeah.
So we have a finish time for Rory Linkletter here. 2:06.49, which is a personal best by just about 13 seconds.
Yep.
I wonder if he'll be happy with that. We spoke with Rory a lot over the press conference. I think his goal was to run almost the whole thing with Conor Mantz and have them both take a crack at the American/North American record.
That's right.
So I'm guessing, just knowing Rory and his competitiveness, he might not be pleased with that. But hey, second Canadian to ever go under 2:07. That's another step in the right direction for him. So congrats to Rory. Men's results: Bashir Abdi fell to 10th, Zuhair Talbi in 11th. Ahead of Rory, Kiplimo, Philemon Kiplimo finishes 8th, Jeffrey Kamworor 7th, Saifu Tura of Ethiopia, who we didn't talk about all that much. He kind of came in as an outlier, a dark horse. He was the 36th seed going to the race, finishes 6th. So big race for him, 2:05.17. And then Mohamed Essa of Ethiopia, 5th. Wow. Yeah, this might be one of the strongest the reason, we've spent a whole lot of time on the men's field, and the reason for that is I think this was one of the strongest men's fields ever assembled.
Yeah, and just the the explosive dynamic of those two pace groups in the first half created such an interesting collection of results, because, you know, at the very, very front, you had sub 2 hour pace in the first 10K. You had world record pace for a big chunk of the race. And that does so much damage to those who are not able to hold on that it really reshuffles the deck in the second half. And then you saw something somewhat similar with that 204 chase group where, Connor Mantz did something special. Masai, who he was running with of Kenya, did something special as well by lopping off like over 3 minutes off of his personal best.
Not too shabby.
And putting Hoka on a podium in a major marathon, which I haven't seen in a long time. I'm racking my brain here.
This is big for Hoka. This has been my knock on Hoka, which dominates other parts. Well, I shouldn't say dominate, but which does very well in other parts of the market, like easy running shoes, and they're even big in the trail community. But they had a pretty significant absence on world major podiums. I can't think of another athlete who hit a world marathon major podium wearing Hoka. It might have happened. I can't think of one on top of my head right now. So yeah, big one for Masai. We need to check his shoes. It'll either be the Rocket X3 or the Cielo X1 2.0. Let's try to find out what that is.
Now, update on the women's side here. The Fesa, who's leading this race, and he's just been putting on a masterclass in marathon pacing, is just about to wrap this thing up. And we're going to get the 40K split any second now. And Natasha Rogers is your top American still. And she is also hanging on just by a thread to a sub 223, which would be a personal best for her. But she's pacing 222.58 right now with Dakota Popin behind her in 223.36 for the American race. So here we go. We got Fesa coming through here.
She's smiling or grimacing, like you say. I'm not sure.
She's suffering. She's about to make that right onto the little hill. She's checking her time
because she wants the sub 2:15. Go.
Yeah, I bet you she does.
Yeah,
I bet you she's realizing it. She's doing the math now, and she's like, hold up here. You run for it. I mean, like,
go.
To put a 14 on your to put up a 14 in your stat sheet. 15's opening. She's already world class. She's already getting invites to marathon majors. But to put a 2:14 up puts you in rare company.
Yep.
Puts you up in that Bridget Koskay area of top performances of all time.
Right.
And
I think she just really noticed looking
like,
down at her watch. She's like, "Oh my goodness."
Yeah. She got 400 meters to go by our watch on the broadcast here. Obviously, if you're following along on our stream. Just by virtue of the tubes of the internet, there's a little delay between all of this here, right? So keep that in mind. If you're like, hey, I'm second screening with you guys, and you're like a beat off of what I'm seeing in the race, that's just because of the nature of technology,
right?
So
story of my life. You guys are ruining everything for me.
Oh, we are.
Oh, are you?
You're behind.
You're behind.
Sorry, Alex.
Awesome.
I'm about 20 seconds back, so I'm going to hang back as you guys call the finish because I'm
okay.
So Fesa has made that final left. She's in the home stretch. She's we're watching right now. She's just about to cross the finish line, and she is so close to a sub 2:15 and sprinting the line right now. Camera needs to cut here.
We need to get to the finish line. Okay, here she comes.
My goodness, she's going to be so close to this. This is going to be tight.
Oh my goodness.
This is going to be tight to
it's
sub 2:15.
Hard to watch.
I think she's going to get it.
You think she's going to get it? Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
She has 6 seconds. She's going to get it.
She's got it.
Oh my goodness.
I think it's
what
unofficially a 2:14.55 unofficially for the women's win for Fesa of Ethiopia. Her big breakthrough in marathon running is right here. I mean, she has been a podium finisher in the past. She has won let's call them lesser marathons, but she has won non-major events in the past. But this is
not today.
Her big signature win. And she did it in really grand style, like sub 2:15. That's a huge jump. That's a 2-minute jump in her personal best.
Like I think you said, she just gave everyone a master class in how to pace a marathon.
A beautiful race.
That was incredible. Yeah. And she had it even in her to surge at the end, to chop off those 15 seconds she needed to get under, or the 10 seconds she needed to get under the 2:15. That was an amazing finish.
Listen, I'm going to say this right now. I'm still in shock and awe of Jacob Kiplimo and how excited I am for his future as a marathon runner, because he's so young and clearly so talented. But and obviously the Conor Mantz story is going to be really big here in the US, but like, I think Fesa's performance. Okay, I'm going to hold this for our instant reaction podcast. We're going to pump out soon, but I'm just going to say Fesa's performance is special. Like it's special to run that fast and that evenly.
Yeah. Wow.
I talk about in the podcast all the time, like, know yourself as a marathon runner. Know thyself is the biggest challenge in marathon running. And marathon running reveals how much you know yourself. Fesa knows herself really well because she just nailed the splits.
She nailed it.
Okay, so we got some nice TV time of Natasha Rogers, the top American runner, who, speaking of know thyself, is running very nicely right now. She just slipped over 2:23 in the last closing miles of this race. She is pacing for a 2:23.17. 17 seconds is a lot to make up to dip under 2:23. But if she can hang on, here, she might be able to get a nice little PR, and she's going to be the top American woman. That is pretty much sewn up. Okay, second place update. Magertu Alemu, who was hanging out in second place for the longest time in this race.
Yeah.
She gets it done. She runs 2:17.18, just off of her PR for second place overall. So she, so second place is amazing.
Yep. Of course.
But it's not the breakthrough I think she was probably coming for today. But keep an eye out on her in the future for sure, right? Okay, cool. So we're getting
third place. We've got it.
We're getting an extended hang with Natasha Rogers in the broadcast, which is good.
It is, but I would have liked the finish line for the podium finish of the women's 1, 2, and 3. To be honest,
that's fair. We just missed 2 and 3.
Yeah, we didn't get to see them.
3. Alex, Tanzania representing on the podium.
Third place
here in Chicago. Third place. Showery of Tanzania, Magdalena Showery of Tanzania grabs third place. She finished in 2:18.03 for third place. She was the number 2 female runner along with Fesa for a lot of this race, and then fell back.
Yes, she was.
Yeah, so what a 2-month streak for Tanzania with Alphonse Felix Simbu winning world championship gold. Tanzania is kind of funny. It's one of these East African countries where distance running hasn't completely taken a huge foothold like it has in the countries surrounding it. So Kenya, Ethiopia, and increasingly Uganda. And with Shari and now Simbu seeming to break through, you wonder if there's an impending and an increasingly popular culture of distance running there. And so I'm curious to see what's going to happen in the next couple of years. But got to say, Magdalena Shari, not a name that I was familiar with before this race. And so big breakthrough for her as well, beating big names. So Lois Chemnong of Kenya coming in fourth just through now. And then Mary Ngugi Cooper, also of Kenya, rounding out the top 5. So both names that I think have been around for a bit longer that I was more familiar with. And so kudos to Shari for climbing on the podium.
So they're interviewing Conor Mantz right now on the local broadcast here. And guy looks like he's like looking pretty good. He's not too wrecked.
He looks great.
The guy just ran a sub 2:05 marathon. He looks like pretty good, pretty comfortable. He's chatting away. I mean, I imagine he's just over the moon. He's like all adrenaline right now.
Of course.
Although he looks very mild mannered right now. He's like very looks pretty he's always got this kind of fairly relaxed but serious demeanor to him. Cyr, you talked to him at length on Friday and have developed a lovely rapport with Mr. Mantz. You were teasing him about how you stole one of his Strava segments on the Boston Marathon course, and then he stole it back this April. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's gonna be tough for you to grab any segments in Chicago from this Mantz run.
I'd say so.
Yeah, I might not try. Maybe if there's one that's really short that you could just sprint your way through and it's like 200 meters, I might give my absolute best to try to beat it. But even then, I think it might be difficult. No,
Yeah,
Connor
I think-
Mantz, true winner. He seemed to be really confident in the press conference. I think, and again, this is probably fodder for the post-race instant reaction pod, but I think he was a man. He was a man with the plants this time around once again.
Mantz with
And I
the
think that was the
plants.
American record. It was
Well
the
done.
American record, and I think he got what he wanted. Quick question from the chat that I think we should address. Jack Davey, sorry, Jack, I think you've asked this a couple times and we didn't get to it. The question was, do you think? Oh, now I've lost the question. But I think it was okay. Do you think if Kiplimo had the Pacers Sawe had for Berlin, he would have run sub 2? That's the question. Hey.
Yeah.
These guys were pacerless for a long time. We mentioned this a little earlier in the pod, but if you missed it, apparently there were some special pacers coming in for John Korir, and they didn't make it through the States because their visas were not approved. Now, I wonder if these...
I think it's really hard to unpack whether or not that would have made that much of a difference, but I think it would have made some. I think it would have. Okay, the way I'll say it is this, and we can talk about this more in the instant reaction podcast that we'll jump right into in a few seconds here, and then push out on our feed shortly after we wrap the watch along show. But I think it probably cost him the world record. Sub 2 is another 35 seconds, and who knows? Mm-hmm. But I think. I will say this with some level of confidence that, not having any pacers in that crucial zone between, really it was like, what was it? 21K on, they didn't have anybody. If they would have had pacers at least up until 25K, that may have evened things out a little bit more. I think there may have been an opportunity to also keep John Korir in the race as well.
Okay.
So we've lost Alex. He was just on.
He'll
for
be
a
with
good
us
chunk.
for the instant reaction pod.
Yeah. So we're getting Natasha Rogers crossing the finish line now, which is awesome. She's going to come in right around 2:23 and 23:26, I'd say. That's really close to her personal best. The male runner that was running right next to her just totally slammed
collapsed
in.
or fell or
He slammed into this stanchion badly right next to Rogers, but she's all right. But geez, poor guy. That was a bad fall. Hopefully he's okay.
She has a 2:23:51. So if this unofficial time of 2:23:28 is correct, then she will have a PR.
She'll have a big PR.
Yay.
And also Top American is a big deal in Chicago. The American elite runners really pride themselves in the race within the race, which is the Top American in Chicago and New York and Boston. These are really important milestones for American running. And so for Natasha Rogers, this is a big breakthrough for her.
Yeah, of course.
Top American, nice little, not little, nice sizable PR in her third marathon. As we said before, she was really uncertain about her future as a distance runner not that long ago after her first marathon did not go well at all. And she really felt like maybe she was done and then has sorted things out and now has run 2 really smart races that are also really smart, tight races in the 2:23 range. And I imagine she's going to be chomping at the bit for the springtime. You can keep an eye out for her either in maybe Boston or perhaps she goes back to the women's race in Japan in February, or perhaps she takes on something like Rotterdam for speed as well. Because you start getting that thing where you're like, you run 2:23 and you're like, that felt pretty good. And I accomplished something and took a step forward. The next step is, what is it? 2:22? Is it 2:21? Can I get good enough to run a sub 2:20 race before my time in the marathon is done as an elite runner? And so that's the decision that Natasha Rogers now has to make. And we also have an unofficial finishing time for Dakota Popane, who finished in 2:24.21, which is also really close to her personal best too, right?
Let me pull it up here. She had a 2:24.40.
She missed her PR. She missed a PR by a second unofficially.
Unofficially. Fingers crossed.
Let's hope that the timing Matt's.
No, 2:24.21.
Oh, so she did 2:24.21. Sorry, I missed.
She got 19 seconds.
I'm in it's like a blur at this stage. We've been talking for 3
numbers
hours.
for so long.
Yeah,
yes,
this is literally
bear
been a
with
3-hour
us here.
Conversation, so,
It looks like she did get about a 20-second PR, which is exciting.
Gabby Rooker came in. Gabby Rooker is our third American, and what's her finishing time? I just missed that.
Oh, sorry. Yep, her finishing time is 2:26.32, unofficially there.
Yep. So that's slightly off of her best performance, if I'm not mistaken.
She has a 2:24.29 in Chicago.
Hung on there, and I think a bit of a positive split, but also ultimately like top 3 American.
Right,
you take
there you
that
go.
every day. Yeah. So there you have it. So as a roundup, the top 3 American women are Natasha Rogers, Dakota Popane, and then Gabby Rooker in third. And top 3 American men, you've got Connor Mantz, Wesley Kiptoo, and then Ryan Ford runs 2:09.37. Ryan Ford was this dude who ran really well in Boston this year and kind of came out of nowhere and surprised a lot of people by performing at such a high level. And now is added to the resume with another really strong performance. So he's somebody to watch out for as well. Okay, so
we were able to speak for over 2 hours, Michael. We did it. 3 hours.
Almost 3 hours.
Almost 3
now.
hours.
Okay.
We did it, guys. We did it.
So what we're going to do here is we're going to, instead of going into a deep debrief of what we just watched, we're going to end the live stream in a second here of our watch along show. We're going to jump into the studio with Alex, and we're going to record our instant reaction podcast, which we will do. We're not going to do it live because we want to get Alex involved, and we got to go into our podcasting software to record that. We're going to record that podcast, and we'll push out the video and the audio version of that ASAP. So if you just can't get enough and you want to hear more about what we think about this weekend in Chicago, what the experience was like, not just we'll break down the elite races in detail. We'll throw some hot takes out there. I'm already
they're cooking.
One half of my brain is always reserved for hot take cookery. So the takes are in the oven right now. I don't know if it's the left or the right side of my brain, whatever the creative side is. Yeah. So we'll jump into the studio and record the Instant Reaction Podcast. If you do not subscribe to our podcast, please do so. And you'll get every podcast that we send out. We're now doing a couple a week, which is fun. And we'll break down everything we saw this weekend, including just the overall experience of being here and everything that we saw at the expo, the pop-ups, the shakeout runs, everything. And then we will also push it out and get there. All right. Thank you so much for joining us in our watch along show. It was super fun. We're going to do a big one for New York. I think we're going to take it up a level too. I think we're going to start adding some experiential stuff where you can see what we saw in New York. We're going to shoot some video of the weekend and pull it in, and more graphics, maybe a fancier studio setup. We're going to push it up one more notch for New York.
Getting fancy.
Beyond. There we go. All right. And so subscribe to our newsletter to get info on what we're up to in New York. Our whole team's going to be there. And then to find out more about what sort of drips out in Chicago here in the next few hours as we run up to the press conference and take in all the rest of the insane number of pop-ups and events that are happening still in Chicago weekend. All right.
Thanks so much for watching along.
Good job, Katelyn. Good.
We did it.
We did it. We did the talking marathon, and thank you so much for watching us and supporting everything we do. We try to do right by you, the fellow running nerd. We see you. We know you're out there. And we look forward to doing this again.
Yep.
All right, on to the Instant Reaction Podcast.